Alright, we should be about live here. Let me take a look. We are live. Okay. Let me just... Is this going to be a reactception here? I'm going to show... Oh no, I'm showing some of my analytics. I do not care. See that? Alright, I'm just going to make a quick post and we should be good to go. Alright, we are live. Just give it a second and we should be good to go here. Yep. Well, yeah, all right. We'll give a few minutes to let people come get in. It's probably like so give it a little bit. I'll have live chat kind of open on my phone. I thought there was a way I could do it on here. Where's stream? Where there's a way on OB. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm working on the volume. Don't worry. We're getting there. Yeah, I'm working on some gain and stuff at the moment. Let me know if people with volume. I turned it myself up a little bit. I'm just working on a few things on the side here before we get started. So if it needs help more, just let me know. Hi everyone. Please let me know if volume's good or not. Please, and if you can hear squirrely or not. I think you should be able to. I mean, you're loud enough in my ears, so. I may do showdown groups at another point, just probably not today. And it may be a little bit of a quicker one, just as a fair warning. I don't have 8 hours today. It's better now. Can you hear squirrely? That's my biggest concern. Or can you just hear me? Should be able to hear squirrely pretty easily, but because I can turn squirrely up as well. Yeah, if you could please let me know if you can hear him as well, or them as well. Sorry. And if it ever gets too loud, too quiet, let me know. That's just a button I can click. It's real easy. You should be able to hear squirrely. I mean, if he's talking. All right. Well, they can't hear you. Great start. Give me about 30 seconds to try and fix it. Here we go. Try that. Let me know if that's better. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chicken.
Thanks for asking that question, because if the answer is no, then we're not going to hear anything back.
Okay, here's the question. Can you hear both of us? Now go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear both of us? I don't know exactly what Eltram's doing behind the scenes, but
I now see your input going through on my end.
okay, this is good. This is good.
You should be able to hear him now.
Hello.
The input was accidentally on mute. Oops.
Oh, good job.
Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. For Squirrely's end.
All right, cool. Am I about the right volume, or if so, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I'll just wait for a yes or no on the volume. Is okay. So just FYI, I did say we're doing groups 5 through 8 or the champions groups today. I may or may not, depending on time and life, do other stuff, but um, yeah, it looks like we're all good. So we're gonna get started here. We're gonna start with group number 5. As always, if it's mine or Squirrely's team, we'll try not to give as much as bias information of how much we love our own teams. But we will figure that out. So in Group 5, we have, of course, the first 5 picks are Mr. Wonton, Squirrely, him Hunter, who is the defending champion from Season 8, and Mooney. We got Gavin. We got Anudova Kachuk. Shout out to the Calgary Flames. Bottle Ducky, that Nintendo guy who, if we don't famously know, was one of the most lowest rated teams I've ever given in my life, and I was proven wrong. So that's another reason don't pay too much attention to these because we don't take player skill into account. And then we have Empress Lily and It's Bug here for Group 5. Alright, so we're going to start here with Mr. Wonton, who is the first overall pick. And we have a first thing of Whimsicott for Unity Tier 1. We got Mega Starmie in Tier 2, along with High Dragon. Blaziken Tier 3, Espathra Tier 3. We got Jolteon Tier 4, Stunfisk Team 5, then Basque Legion M for points pick, Klefki, Pidgeot Mega, and then regular Banette. What do we think about this sort of team? It seems like a Rain Basque Legion, but Whimsicott Tailwind team at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty solid. Covered types are pretty well covered for the most part. Yeah, I guess you're. I don't really like double prankster to be honest, but I guess the Klefki here is for the potential Rainbird with Basque Starmie.
Yeah,
And Pidgeot Hurricanes, I suppose. No, never mind.
it
I
has
forgot
no.
what Pidgeot does. Ignore me.
It has no guard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
so Klefki's here for the two water types. To be honest, I don't really like taking two expensive prankster users. I feel like that's just like a lot of support. I'm like, what are they supporting?
Yeah, I get two pranksters can be a little bit awkward to deal around. Yes, you have more move slots in general, but if you think about it, if you bring both to a game, then you only have two damage options. You have two supportive options. Say you bring Whimsicott Klefki, you're basically stuck either bring Basculin Starmie or like Hydreigon, Pidgeot, etc. Kind of might lack some
Yeah,
damage sometimes, and if they have something to stop your prankster, or like say you go for Rain Dance, they have a slow sunny day, you may not have enough damage output or kind of it might be awkward to pilot. Mega Starmie, I'm interested to see how it performs this year after we horrendously overrated it in the test season, but that's why Season 8 was the test season. Um, but again,
yes.
I think Espathra is a pretty good Pokemon for Tier 3. I can see trying to do there. I will say, minus the Starmie and Basculegion, a lot of your team is a lot more specially offensive, minus Blaziken. Seems like I don't know. It might just be a me thing. I think it's like a okay team, don't know, but I feel like it's just like missing that extra edge or something that could have like instead of the Klefki, which I get, maybe have slotted in instead to help it out a little bit. Um, maybe something like redirection would be nice on this team.
Yeah, that is kind of the downside of these like tier 1, tier 2, pretty expensive like full support Pokemon in Whimsicott and Klefki. Since even just taking one of them, you're investing quite heavy resources. You then need to be able to build like a strong enough team without that extra high tier to take advantage of that support. So having two of them just amplifies that issue like tenfold, right? Where you just don't have many high tiers to take advantage of the support you're giving them.
Um,
That's like the only real issue I have. As you said, it's definitely more specially oriented, but I think the physical attackers at the very least are from the higher tiers, so that does kind of make up for it. And across the board, the types look pretty good. I see no issues there.
yeah.
I think it's pretty solid. I think there's like a couple like issues, but it looks pretty fine to me.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid team. The only thing I did notice is your team's definitely more operated Tailwind. Specifically, you have a Trick Room, like a Spothra can use Trick Room, whatever. But if they're able to get a Trick Room off on you, your team might struggle a little bit that answer it with reversing Trick Room or with Mental Herb and Taunt on being another pose. And that's the only like major downside. But I think it's a pretty solid team. Also, like the logo, so that's a little bit in my book. So,
Yeah, and
go
I
ahead.
believe they took Whimsicott round one, which with the logo
Pick
is
one.
very cool.
Pick one.
Yep. Round one, pick one, Whimsicott to match the logo. That's awesome.
Hey, I would say a little bit based, but hey, I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit based is okay sometimes. So I will say we're doing ours live stream. I know Hunter and Weaver are doing their own power rankings. They've gone out of 5. We normally go out of 10. So just kind of keep that in mind when we're rating a team. We do out of 10, not out of 5. So what are we gonna start this out with?
Ah, I forgot we were gonna actually rate them. That's
Oh
the point
come
of a power
on.
rankings.
Oh
All
no,
right,
we're
what do I
just gonna.
think?
Yeah, this is not the. I know it's a yap session, but we come on. We got to start off at least solid.
Yeah.
I could do a
Ah,
solid.
the first one's always the hardest.
Yeah.
It's
I'm,
like, I mean, it seems pretty good. Like, I'm gonna say like,
because I feel like we always rate this too low or too high, and then we come back in the beginning. So I'm trying to not overrate it.
yeah, I don't want to be. I also don't want to go down the rabbit hole of just giving everything like a middling score.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6.5 to be honest.
Yeah, I was also thinking around there. I didn't want to say my thought process out loud because of
Yeah, and
how a
again,
YouTube chat would react. Um,
we can go back and re-rate this, but I think 6.5 is a fair
if
rating.
we're doing decimals, I think 6.5 is fine.
We
I was
normally don't.
between I
So
was thinking between two whole numbers.
I was thinking between. I'm not gonna say those numbers out loud, but that's why I went 6.5.
Yeah,
Because I'm not
same
saying
wavelength.
you are in chat. You're not gonna get me to say it. It's not happening. Um, it's just not happening. I'm sorry. No chance. Um, yeah, I think 6.5, maybe to the upper range of that number, because I do think in a draft type format, this is a type of team that does tend to do well. Um, because it has options, a
So
bunch of options for
I
those
didn't quite
brands.
catch that last part. Sorry.
Oh, I said it'd be a 6.5 to one of the upper number because I think this sort of team does better in a draft format because it does have like with two pranksters some different things it can do.
Mm. I think Espathra is a very interesting Pokemon. Actually, I've taken it in another draft league that's I've yet to do week one of as well. I wonder if it's a type of Pokemon that's too linear and ends up just doing one thing and it's really predictable, or if it's like actually more useful than that. So I'll be very interested to see how it does. It's not a Pokemon I've actually used before.
No, I'm not gonna ban you for putting that in chat. Come on, I'm not that silly, but I'm not gonna say it. If that wants to be your whole goal for the whole stream for somebody to get me to say it, good luck. Uh, anyways, we're gonna move on to the next team, which is you're just gonna hear me ranting because unironically
Yeah,
Squirrely is up here because he was second pick in
yeah,
this league.
I get a break already.
Damn it, I gotta keep going. You guys gotta hear more of me. Well, sucks for you all. So Squirrely is up here with the Cambridge Camera Ups Classic. I was almost drafting Mega Camera Up as a side note. I'll try it sometime, I promise. We got the Garchomp Tier 1. We got the Arcanine Hisui. We got Lucario Mega. No spoilers for the video coming out tomorrow, but I did have to face that for my week 1. We have Vivillon, or the French butterfly. We got Weavile. We have Roserade. Malamar. We have the most broken fairy Pokemon in the whole entire format, Mega Floette. Uh,
Aromatisse, of course.
yeah, of course. That's what I meant. Poltergeist, Ampharos, and base form Swampert. Um, I'm going to be a little bit biased because I also have Garchomp and Vivian. This is a really solid team in my opinion. Not only did you get the best, debatably, best Mega ever invented for a regular Pokemon in Mega Floette, you have Garchomp and Mega Lucario, but also you can use Mega Lucario as base form Lucario with the Mega Stone, which I could see coming as well. Strong Intimidate or Rockhead with Arcanine Hisui to help either Mega Floette live or also support team as well as doing just a crap ton of damage being a good Scarper. You have Redirection with um, Vivian, which should help facilitate a Calm Mind Floette set or some other stuff that Floette likes to do if it's not just saying, hey, big beat stick here. Weavile, like here, it's the fastest fake out user in the format, if I do recall correctly. That isn't Mega Raichu.
Aside from Raichu Y, yeah.
Yeah, that isn't Mega Raichu Y, which is always very, very, very helpful. And Ice type coverage, I think, is actually pretty good, just in draft in general, as long as you hit it, of course. Good luck.
Yeah, Ice type offensively is just really good. Like everyone knows that.
Yeah, I mean, Roserade I like as a tier 4. I think it's a pretty good tier 4 typing wise. It actually hits surprisingly hard as well. So I like Roserade. Malamar, I have my own thoughts on Malamar. I think it's okay. It's you know what you're doing with Malamar. You're doing
Yeah,
contrary things. It's
I've drafted it for a reason, and I'm not saying.
yeah. Oh, you don't want to expose all your draft secrets on live. Oh, darn.
No,
And Poltergeist is an okay Pokemon. Again, tier 5s are kind of a little bit whatever.
and
Ampharos is
Poltergeist is a tier 4.
still tier 4, tier 5. Some of them are kind of whatever. Ampharos is it's Ampharos. Eh.
Yeah, it's tier 5.
It's tier 5 for a reason. I'm sorry, and I love Ampharos. And then Swampert, I think base Sword Swampert's pretty good as well. Um, but yeah, how many Ghost type fake out users are there outside of Sableye? Is there any? I don't think there.
Um,
I'm pretty sure there isn't.
that's a great question.
I think
I
it's
will check
just.
for us.
I think it's just Sable. I know. Pretty sure. I like this team. I think it's very solid. Both megas are definitely bringable in different situations, but I also can see a world where you technically can bring both Pokemon without mega them into the same battle. I think Garchomp's just an always solid Pokemon, and I like Arcanine Hisui's typing and the fact that it's so versatile. You do have also EQ with Vivian. The only downside I will say is Garchomp's probably not using EQ too much, or else you're going to have to protect your other Pokemon because you only have one immunity there, and you have one, two, three Pokemon on your own side that are weak to ground. So it's not kind of ideal, but you don't have to use Garchomp as an EQ pairing Pokemon. Just if you would want to use it as EQ, it might be a little difficult. But otherwise, I think it's pretty solid. You have options in and outside of Trick Room with Malamar, Ambrose, Swampert to some extent. But the team's overall pretty decently fast as well. You have a very fast Weavile, Lucario Mega's fast, Garchomp's fast. Um, so I think it's a pretty solid team. Is there flaws? Definitely. There's always flaws with some teams. Your water type is questionable and doesn't even resist water is one that I'm not a huge fan of. I like Swampert as a secondary water type, but I can see why you drafted it with this specific team. Otherwise, your types are pretty, I think, pretty standard and pretty well covered. There's just a few Pokemon I don't personally like or enjoy, but I'm not going to take something personally and put it into your team. Um, if I will say, if an opponent manages to get Trick Room up and you have the fast Pokemon, you might be in some trouble. Not that I think you don't have ways to prevent it, but there is a world where I could see that being an issue. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
I already know how I'm dealing with Trick Room if it goes up, by the way, but of course I
I,
can't.
I have a pretty good idea what that is that I will not say
I
on
think I've
live stream.
mentioned it in staff chat. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure I talked to you about this same exact topic when you drafted the team. Um, but yeah, I think it's a pretty solid team. I mean, like I said, Trick Room could give some issues as well as like a random Scarfer or not. But yeah, I like the team. I also like the fact that you have covered most of the basics. You have Tailwind, you have Trick Room, you have Fake Out, you have Redirection, all stuff that I don't think it's necessary, but I'd almost say borderline necessary in a draft, especially at this stage of covering all those. And you have two mega options that I think, especially in this sort of draft, I like having two mega options. And I think, honestly, the best tier 2 mega with one of the best Alton megas definitely pushes it up. Um, I'm going to go 8.5 to start off. I think it's really strong. It could be confirmed, but I think it's a really strong team. It does have its faults and does have some use it, but I think it's a really solid team.
Yeah, it's fair. Like I just kind of tried to build like a solid, well-rounded team, and then I can pilot it to
And
hopefully we'll win. And Floette can just kind of blow shit up. Floette kind of plays itself, but the rest of the team, yeah.
true.
Oh yeah, I wanted to like the only flaw I really like the only flaw I feel like I have with this team is the sheer number of quad weaknesses. I was
Yeah,
collecting those without realizing.
yeah. You have
But
quad
it is what
weakness.
it is.
We're just gonna go down the board real quick here. We got quad weakness to ice, quad weakness to ground, Lucario, quad weakness to fire, quad weakness to fighting,
So, sorry, did you say
quad.
fire?
Oh my. It's been a long. I mean ice. Sorry. Ice. You got grass. Yeah. You collected them. You're catching all the quad weaknesses today. This is like very my anti-singles draft team where I have 13 immunities within 12 Pokemon. Um,
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah,
I
I
think
get
the quad weaknesses could be
could be a
my
downfall here.
downfall with this team, but
It could be a
we'll
downfall,
see.
but it also could be a pitfall. So we'll see. We'll move on to the next one. I don't want to carry too long. We're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
defending champion of season 8. Him 128 with the Sunny Shore Solar Surge with a Mega Pyro, nice in-game sort of logo here. We got Mega Lopunny here is going to start first. We got Aerodactyl. We got Mega Pyroar. Who could I guess that one? We got Mega Meowstic, Staraptor, Diggersby, Manectric, regular Ninetales as a Sunsetter, Venusaur to pair on with that, Quackable, and then probably one of the best Tier 4 Pokemon in Ariados, in my opinion. What do we think about this team?
Okay. Right.
It's a Sun team. I mean,
I mean, it seems pretty solid. Pyros. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not personally a fan of Pyro, but it does a lot of damage. You got a good Sun Core with it as well, to be fair.
yeah,
Venusaur is also there. Ninetales, I do quite like Ninetales. I think it was a little expensive this season.
on purpose.
However, yeah, I do still think I do still like Ninetales, even if I
Mm-hmm.
think it's expensive this season. It's a strong Sun Core.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You didn't miss
I'll be
you didn't miss
interested
any
to
two
see
games.
Lopunny, just because of the lack of normal move. I want to see how he works with that.
Yeah,
Because like you're basically just missing a stab move.
I think it's interesting with the tier 1 and tier 2 megas specifically. 3 megas I think is okay, but having them in each like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 kind of I don't know. I don't know how much I like
Well,
that.
the Meowstic is not really a Mega.
No, I'm 90% sure they just drafted Meowstic that way so they could use both forms without an item. Which is fair enough, but again,
Yeah, probably just the male form.
the first two, Lopunny Mega and Pyro Mega, you have two top like megas that want to do damage track. I'm interested how you'd be able to use both because I think Lopunny without an item is kind of just really bad. Um, but we'll see. I like the Sun with Pyroar, Ninetales Venusaur. Unfortunately, I am with you. I'm not a Mega Pyroar enjoyer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the one defending the Pyroar here. It's just not happening. Aerodactyl's obviously one of the most solid Pokemon just in general champs out of the format with access to Wide Guard, Rock Slide, and Tailwind, and just being one of the fastest Pokemon. Yes, and just to answer the question, Loppy does not get Double Edge either. It lost a decent amount of things. It still gets Fake Out, obviously, but losing that's pretty huge. You do have your Fake Out Tailwind covered. You actually have two Tailwind with Staraptor, Aerodactyl. Uh, Trick Room minus Meowstic is kind of sketchy for you. I will not lie. Your team's very, very fast, but outside of like Diggersby and like Ariados, if they get Trick Room up on you, I'm afraid you're getting wiped. Um,
Yeah, this Trick Room matchup doesn't look great.
that's the one major thing that points right out to me. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's a good play. I can probably play around Trick Room.
you could probably play around it, but it's like you're gonna have to. 90% of people are probably gonna bring Trick Room into you, so you're gonna have to learn how to play against it. Um, Staraptor Aerodactyl's a little awkward in my opinion. They kind of do similar-ish things with Tailwind. One being obviously has more support with Wide Guard Rock Slide, but Staraptor with its normal form is kind of like either Choice Scarf Final Gambit, Big Brave Bird, Tailwind sort of person.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Staraptor's just here to kill itself every week.
I mean,
That's a
honestly,
possibility.
if you want to scarf it, have it kill itself every week, and try to kill the opposing Trick Room user this way, I'm not going to be opposed. Just don't
Yeah,
try that
like
against the teacup.
you just try to take out the Trick Room setter or opposing Mega.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have a huge HP pool, but it takes out most megas since megas don't have very high HP in
True.
general.
Um, Going on some, I think Diggersby is actually an okay tier 4. It does more damage than you'd think, but again, it is a tier 4. Um,
Yeah, I think it was like the most picked tier 4, I believe.
yeah, there is a notable lack of a fairy type, a notable lack of
Yeah,
a dragon type, and a notable
I
lack of
think
a steel.
looking at the type chart, it's not
Eh,
looking amazing.
yeah, I'd say the type chart here
Um,
is, I don't have it available to me, but I can just look and see it's
yeah, I have it up, so I
little
can
rough.
I can talk through it quickly. Um, so pretty obviously there's 4 normal types here,
Yeah,
so
trying to
that's a
do a
little
we're
sketch.
trying to do the best Jabba impression here with the mono normal team.
Surprisingly, this team actually isn't weak to fighting. However, it does have a few others. Uh, Big weakness to Psychic, with the only resistance being Meowstick, and then you have
Which
Low Poly
that's
Venusaur, Quaquaval, and Ariados.
I mean,
Crucially, your Redirector,
and
all weak to Psychic.
Meowstic's kind of a fake resistant psychic too because it
Yes,
can't really
Meowstick
do.
isn't doing anything back.
Yeah, hold on, let me turn it down a little bit. Yeah, I can't really do anything
Yeah,
back to psychics. So yeah, that psychic type could
yeah,
be a
and
huge issue here. Like Mega Gardevoir in a right place probably eats this team alive. But that's
yes,
in a different world or different than. I think you still have solid tools. Like you have a lot of damage with Mega Pyroar, Lopunny, Aerodactyl, Staraptor. I'm not a huge fan of. I get why Manectric's here, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. I think Quaquaval's going to have to put in a lot of secret work as well, with Aqua Steps or something else to try to help out this team. Again, you have solid Pokemon. I just think a little bit of the gelling and a little bit of the weaknesses poke out here.
yeah. There are a few more weaknesses on the type chart as well. Rock and Flying,
Hmm.
two, not as bad as the Psychic weakness, but they're pretty. They are quite blatant. Uh, then Water Ice is like a
Yeah.
small weakness, but it's whatever. You can probably deal with that.
Also, lack of priority moves here as well in general. You have Fake Out, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you are quite fast, to be fair,
Yeah,
but
so it's
yeah.
not as big of a deal, but I'd like to point it out and somebody point it out in chat. Again, I'm not trying to be super negative about every team. I'm sorry. But I think with the type chart, we probably should move on a little. What is your rating for this one?
Um, I sorry, I just wanted to talk a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Something I just noticed is like the physical versus special split of this team. Kind of the sun mode is like all special, and like the non-sun mode is like all physical. So I do worry
Yep,
if you
yep, that is a good point.
go one or the other, you just end up running like either like a full physical or a full special team. Just something I wanted to throw out there. Um, Also,
Quaquaval.
people talk about Lopunny's normal moves. For its normal moves, obviously it
Yikes.
doesn't have double edge. We've mentioned that already. Its choices are, I believe, it's Facade, which is quite weak, or Mega Kick, which can miss a lot.
It's Mega Kick.
Yeah,
Yeah, and somebody pointed out, yes, Quaquaval does have Aqua Jet. That's a good point.
that's true.
Does I I'm probably gonna end up being the harsh one. I'm thinking it's around a 4 because there's a lot of weaknesses that I cannot get past. Yes,
Yeah.
there's
Um,
there's a
like
lot of
I,
raw
I'm trying
power.
my best not to be biased by the coach because obviously I'm sure he will do well with this team.
Well, like I said,
Um,
sure it'll do well. I'm trying not to be biased there. I just think quad weakness psychic is
yeah,
scary.
I think it's probably like 4.5 in my eyes.
I'll be the harsh one today. I'm gonna say 4.
Yeah, that is fair.
All right, next we got the Kitakami Blood Moons, but there's no Blood Moons. Sad. I love Blood Moon. Please, please, please add them sometime.
I'm
Just,
happy for Rosaluda to stay on for a while.
just not this year. Can we wait till like after Worlds next year,
Yeah,
please?
I'm happy with that.
Give us like a year break of it. Will be appreciated. But we got Mooney here with the Kitakami Blood Moons. We got Mega Meganium. Uh, we'll talk about a little bit about Mega Meganium later. We got Volcarona, Milotic. We got Scrafty Gallade, which I will talk about in a little bit. Aurorus, the thing of trash. Tinkaton, Pulse, Helioisk, and Zorark. Um, First thing is 1 mega this whole team is a little concerning, in my opinion. I think at least in draft 2 megas is almost a necessity because now your opponent only knows you have 1 meg to deal with. Not that I'm saying there isn't other Pokemon like Dragapult that can do a ton of damage, but 1 mega is a little concerning. That's what that jumps off right on the top of the head.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Mega Meganium obviously does have quite a few weaknesses, as we've seen in standard VGC. Um, I still
Poison.
think it is very good in draft, and it's, not weak to everything in the meta like it is in standard VGC. But as a solo Mega, a Pokemon that does have pretty key weaknesses, I think you just need another Mega to cover those weaknesses that you can bring to matchups where Meganium may not do so well. And that is lacking. That is like the main
Mm-hmm.
issue here.
And I will say, while I like Scrafty and Gallade as Pokemon, drafting both is a little weird together. I will say. I think it's a little awkward with double fighting type. So again, it does give you fairy weakness. Either you're weak to fairy at all, but three of your main Pokemon, being like Scrafty, Gallade, Dragapult, are all weak to fairy. And then like your fairy resists are sure a trash. Not actually trash, but trash the Pokemon. And Tinkaton does, while it could take a fairy mood, it doesn't resist it. So that is a little bit of something that floats out the page besides Mega Meganium. And like I said, I do like Mega Meganium. I think it's a good Mega, especially with draft. I'm just personally prefer two. I also like Volcarona. I think Volcarona in draft might be a little bit stronger than it is like laddering wise with the redirection. But I am
Yeah, definitely.
just a little bit concerned about the lack of a second Mega. And looking at your poison resist, because that's the main Meganium thing that jumps off my eye, like I talked about, poison types could also be a little bit of an issue with this team. Um,
Uh, I I disagree with as the person with the type chart up.
I mean, at least for your top Pokemon like Meganium, poison types might be an issue.
Yeah, there are no other poison weaknesses on the team, and there is 4 resists, one of which is an immunity, so I don't think
Yeah,
it's as big of a concern as it could be. Um,
I
but
do
yeah,
like.
you mentioned fairies. I do agree that is that is like a pretty it's like a fairly big weakness. Volcarona obviously can resist and redirect though,
Hmm.
unless you're dealing with strong gleams.
And you did take one of the better Volcarona encounters in my low tech, although Volcarona does get Giga Drain. Um,
Yeah. Um, the bigger type weakness here is ground. Um, 4 weaknesses, only resistance is Meganium.
you have no
Um,
immunities either.
and yeah, no immunities. Also, ground hits 3 of your 4 poison resists, so a combination of ground plus poison. Um,
I could think of one team
that'll
this
punch through this team.
I could also think of one
I
team this team would really struggle against, but I'm not gonna say it out loud. Um, but no, I will say you do cover some bases correct. You do have Trick Room, you do have Fake Out, you do have access to Tailwind, so there, and you do have um special and physical options. So I will say you do have that covered.
yeah.
And
Um, you're probably going to hear me yap about the type chart a lot. There is also a bit of a flying weakness here. It's not quite as obvious. However, your mons that are weak to flying are your top tiers, which include your redirector,
mhm.
Meganium, Volcarona, the 2 fighting types we mentioned. Then your resists are like Auroras, Heliolisk, and Tinkaton, which is a fair resist, but that's a little shaky.
Yeah. Zoroark is decent to play mind games. I will say if Pult or Meganium is down or doesn't bring it without setup, it could be a little lack of damage. Depending on what you bring. I will say that without setting up, because Volcar and Milotic both need probably like Volcar needs a bit of setup to do some damage, and Milotic's mostly like coil, doesn't have a way to boost most of its damage. So say you not bringing one of Meganium like Scrafty Dragapult to a game or Glade to a game, you might lack some damage in that sense. It's not a huge weakness, but
Yeah, I think Meganium will. usually be coming anyway, since it is the
Yeah.
only mega here, which isn't ideal, but that will at least
Yeah.
supply damage.
Yeah, and I will say, Meganium coming every game is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not an amazing thing because it is one of the megas I think that does have an ability to find a use in most games. So I will say, if it is a mega to bring solo, it is something that does have use, and especially with Weather Ball can tackle different weathers as well. Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have anything else to say on this team. It's like okay. I think despite all the issues we talked about, I think the main thing is just um, the lack of a second mega. Like that is really like the main thing. Um, the other stuff can be slowly somewhat ignored, but no second mega,
yeah,
especially
I'm trying to
when your
even look if
singular mega
there's.
does have a lot of weaknesses. Um,
Yeah,
it's very shaky.
I think this is literally a definition of a 5 team, like actually definition. For me, 5 to 5.5. I don't know about you, but I think that's
Um,
the
mm,
definition for me.
yeah, I'll go with 5 as well.
It does.
That seems fair to me.
I did point out it does have the Fairy Steel Dragon and Firewater Grass cores though. So yay,
Yeah,
yay
it,
cores.
yeah. The cores are there. I'll give them that. They've clearly like thought about typings
All right.
and tried. There's just yeah. Honestly don't quite know how they've ended up with these type weaknesses, but they just have.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's just which types were the higher tiers versus which types were the lower tiers that caused the issues.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, the solo mega, that's the main thing I dislike. The rest we can overlook, but yeah.
All right. We got Gavin 199 in the Metagross Masters with a Mega Metagross. We also have Mega Aerodactyl, Samu Hisui, Ninetales Alola, Vileplume, Hisuian Zoroark, regular form Drampa, regular Pikachu, Toxapex, Runerigus, and Flapple. Um, this is an interesting team. I would just say it's a very interesting team for sure.
Yeah, we see what it's like a tail looks like Terran to me, right?
Yeah, it's
Although
very obvious
I
Tail Room, although I'm not
hmm,
sure what your minus Runerigus what's attacking in Trick Room. I guess
yeah,
Drampa. I
I don't
guess
really like the trick room mode here.
it's Tail Room,
Since
but mostly tail.
your trick room attackers, it's Drampa. I mean, Toxapex, it may be slow, but that's not taking advantage of Trick Room.
It's not an attacker.
And I guess Vileplume, since there is no sun here,
No.
so it is probably just here for base 50. It does have After You, interestingly, so you can set up Trick Room and then use Vileplume to After You on your faster Pokemon if you end up in that position. Um,
Yeah.
but
I'm not gonna take that slander for Runerigus. We're getting into that later. I'm sorry. I don't take Runerigus slander here. With the double megas, I will say this. This is one I don't mind having two double megas. One, because Aerodactyl I think is very much useful without its Mega Stone still, with having still access to, again, Protect, Wide Guard, Rock Slide, Dual Wing Beat, and other moves. So I don't hate it, but also if you Mega it, you do get that damage boost. And if somebody sees a Metagross and Aerodactyl, they may not think, oh, well, the Aerodactyl made Megastone. It's probably just going to set up Tailwind or Tailwind or do something else with a Metagross. If someone gets too relaxed that way and doesn't respect the Mega of it, could be something to your advantage. Saruman Hisui, I don't know why we put this in tier 2 still. That's a different judgment for now. I like it, but I don't think it's a
is it
tier.
Turtle?
Yes,
Oh, damn, it is.
I don't think it's a tier 2 base Pokemon. I like Ninetale Alolas as a Pokemon. You can obviously set up Veil, and Snow's not bad for this team because Metagross doesn't really care for it. Alright, Aerodactyl isn't that big of a care for it, so I do like that sort of area. The problem, like you said, are the Trick Room mode's just kinda, I'm not, there is not, it's a mode, but it's not really a big mode. I do like Arena Regress as a Pokemon. I think Poltergeist is like insanely strong of a move. I don't know how well it's facilitated on this team, Maybe you wanted like a more bulkier ground or a higher tier ground, maybe over like Zora Kasui, maybe. Um, but it's just a weird team to look at paper. It's hard to say. It just looks looks a little clunky and weird.
Yeah, I think the like fast mode or tailwind mode of this team is very strong with basically your tier 0 as well as tier 1, tier 2s and the Zoroark. Then you have the Trick Room mode, which feels like while you've invested a lot of Pokemon slots into it, it feels like you've just been building it out of scraps, which hasn't really worked. I could see, yeah, the ones I don't like, the just Rodriguez Vileplume Tramper as a Trick Room core, I just can't really get behind it.
I
Nothing's
can't
really
argue.
that threatening there.
I can't argue it's a Trick Room core. I just can't. I just don't see it.
Yeah, like
I
it's
think it's
clearly,
it's a Trick
it
Room.
seems like it's supposed to be a Trick Room mode, but it just doesn't really
Yeah.
work.
Is there a strong Trick Room attacker in Tier 3? Maybe to Fire Plume. The only issue is then you lose your redirection. So,
That's true.
I, it just seems clunky. It could be something, I don't know if you have something very creative that could work. It just seems like some clunky
Yeah.
pieces together.
There is also like you drop the air, like you don't bring the arrow to a match. You have like kind of bulky screens mode with Ninetales, Metagross, Toxapex. I don't really see any of like
Yeah.
Runerigus, Tramper or Vileplume working in that kind of
Yeah.
bulky mode. I think they kind of need the Trick Room.
And if
Um,
Vileplume and if Ninetales goes down, you just instantly lose to a ground type if you bring that mode.
yeah, this is true.
I don't know. I feel like if like I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. Obviously, I feel like if fewer changes make it more sense to my eyes. But again, we could be missing something, and it could do completely well for you. So we will absolutely see how it goes. But it just looks a little clunky. Um, I'm having a hard time rating this one. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to give it like a 3 because there's still like Mega Metagross Aerodactyl, and I still think it has some pieces, but I'm having a hard time like rating it a 5. But I
Yeah,
don't want to rate it lower. I don't think I can rate it lower than or higher than the other one.
I I'm gonna give this. Yeah, the top tiers are good enough, where I think you still have like a decent team. It's just the lower tiers. So I'm gonna go like 4.5.
I'll probably go 4 to keep it on the level with the other one because I both think they have significant issues, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. This logo is awesome, by the way. I'm sorry. I love this logo.
Oh yeah, this logo's really good.
I don't give a chuck with the Calgary Cargo. I love this logo. You have a lot of great logos this season overall. You guys brought your A game with logos, as an FYI.
This is yeah. There's been a lot of really good logos. That is a good thing to shout out.
So, everybody, regardless, you all have been awesome with the logos this season. So, round of applause to everyone there. But continuing on, we got a Sun team, kind of fish, not really. We got a Trick Room team. We got Torkoal,
Yeah.
Mega Scrafty, we got Kangaskhan, we got Oranguru, Mamoswine, Mega Malamar, Machamp, Mawile Mega, uh, the word that nobody casted Pokemon came out, Decidueye Hisui, Steelix, and Arbok. It is a Trick Room team in basically all sense of the form.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard Trick Room here. I I'm always going to be harsh on hard Trick Room teams. I just think they're not good in draft. I think here what you really need is a more reliable way to set up Trick Room, since your setters are Oranguru and Mega Malamar.
Now, while
neither
Oranguru
of which are
cannot
exactly
be,
reliable.
well, Oranguru can't be flinched, but it doesn't mean it can't just be blown the hell up or taunted or
Yep,
imprisoned. It's very easy to get
that too.
imprisoned in this. Um, Again, I like Mega Scrafty. I think it's a unique niche, so I'm not going to knock you on that one. I hate Malamar as a Pokemon. I'm sorry. I just don't want to play anymore on ladder. It's annoying.
I
Please.
think Mega Malamar is really bad. I don't think it
It's
really has a lot
annoying.
over regular Malamar, which is tier 5,
Yeah, I think
and
regular
you do already
Malamar
have
is
two
just
other Megas.
Malamar is just annoying. I like Kangaskhan a lot. I think Kangaskhan's a very good Pokemon. Torkoal is always going to be threatening if you don't deal with it. Mega Mawile is insane. I think Mega Mawile is a very good Pokemon. The issue is if you aren't able to get if you aren't able to Mega it, base 4 Mile is kind of iffy.
Yeah, you kind of do have to Mega it.
And if you are Megaing it, does that mean you don't bring Scrafty? Does that mean you're not going to have Fake Out besides that Machamp?
Yeah,
Like
you definitely can bring
Kangaskhan?
Scrafty without the
Yeah.
and just don't Mega it, but it is an issue.
Will say to help facilitate Trick Room, you have three, three or four different fake out users.
Yeah,
Kangaskhan, Scrafty, Machamp.
no,
Doesn't Machamp get fake out or did it lose it?
I swear it never got Fake Out.
I might be losing my mind. But it has four hands, so I thought it would, but I could be wrong. But it's pretty. It is slow anyway, so I don't think it's been getting fake out.
I mean, there are 3 fighting types on this team. I do want to point that out.
True. I will say your one flying resist is Mega Mawile and Steelix. Otherwise, we do be flying. Um, but the only problem with that, those fighting can take care of that, and you you don't really have a ghost type, so fighting is kind of very free into your team because your
Um,
Oranguru doesn't resist it because it's part normal. You're what?
yeah, I think the main thing with main issue I have, even though you have two options of fake out, and one of those fake out users does have Scrappy, which is obviously good for faking out ghost types.
Mm-hmm.
Since there is no redirection, it's a lot easier to prep for just denying Trick Room on turn 1.
True.
And this team really struggles without Trick Room. Both I think the two most threatening attackers here really are Torkoal and Mawile.
Mm-hmm.
And without Trick Room, they don't really work very well.
Is the
So you do kind of need to get Trick Room up. And I feel like it's just too easy to deny this team getting Trick Room up.
is the fastest Pokemon Kangaskhan or
Yes, it is Kangaskhan at 90, then Mega Malamar at 88.
that I don't like. I think you almost necessarily have to have 100 your speed above Pokemon.
Yeah,
It's
this
hard
is what I
Trick
mean
Room.
here about this team needs Trick Room.
Again, I love Trick Room. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Trick Room. I just don't like either going too hard, especially in Giraffe, into a hard Trick Room or hard Tailwind mode without having options to cover the other. And like you said, denying Trick Room it actually might be a little hard depending on what your opponent has, or denying the access to have them deny you Trick Room.
Yeah, I think if you're going hard on Trick Room, which I wouldn't ever personally recommend, I do think you need both Fake Out and Redirection. And also just both Farigiraf and Hatterene are quite good at stopping the common ways to deal with it or delay Trick Room, stopping all priority moves, so you can't fake out the Trick Room setter or the Redirector, which is that's a pretty key difference to make for Orangaroos that are focused. You can still fake out the thing next to it, which can then make it easier for your other Pokemon to stop Orangaroo setting Trick Room.
I would have liked to see
So yeah, I would
Farigiraf on
recommend
this team.
Farigiraf or Hatterene. And Hatterene, you just can't, you don't have to worry about Taunt, you don't have to worry about Roar, Whirlwind. At least I don't think you do. I don't think they go through Magic Bounds, but I'm
No,
not
no,
actually sure. I've never seen that. I'm
yeah,
assuming they don't.
but I would have liked seeing Farigiraf or Hatterene here.
Yeah, I think one of those two plus a redirection mod. I have no idea if there's any redirection mods left on the board. There aren't many.
Let's look, shall we? Don't for. Can not spell English.
You
Fergraf is
saying
gone.
something?
Hattering's still here.
Okay, yeah, that'd definitely be a good pickup since Magic Mouse does protect you from a lot of the common ways to prevent the
But the problem is it's tier 2.
Magic Mouse. Yeah, it protects you from Taunt, it protects you from Raw, Whirlwind, and all that stuff. Be careful of parting shot with that one.
Yep. We do have double Intimidate with Scrafty, and Arbok does also get Intimidate, something to mention. And Mawile has Hypercutter. I'm sorry, I can't give this above a 3. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't. I just think it's way too reliant.
Yeah, I said this already. I'm always going to be harsh on hard trick room teams. I think hard trick room is just not a good idea in draft. I think if you want to play trick room, you get a team that's half trick room and half something else. That way, you're forcing your opponent to prep for both trick room and whatever the hell that something else is.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with this, you prep specifically for trick room and you stop trick room, and then you can't really do much from that position. You don't get trick room up. You kind of just lose.
We'll say hard trick room
Well,
is
some
good
of
on the
your
ladder, though. So if you want to play on the ladder with this sort of team,
oh yeah,
full advantage.
I'm just talking about in draft, of course, not
Yeah, of
in a
course.
standard VGC. Because obviously in standard VGC you can't prep just for trick room, whereas here you can, and you can pretty consistently stop it. At least
Yep.
this team. So yeah, I think I do agree with you with 3.
All right. Next, I'm going to go to Bottle Ducky, who is in the chat. Welcome. We're raiding your team now. We got Wet and Witty. Where's the Hattering on this team? It's in the logo. Come on. We have. Obviously, Macargo, I'll give a pass on, but we got
Where's the
Whimsicott
Chinchou on
here.
this team? That's
We got
a
Mega
more pressing
Pyroar.
question.
Where's the Chinchou Hattering? Where is it? No, for real though, we got a lot of megas, which I will talk about in a second. But we got Mega Venusaur, Eel Mega, Sableye Mega, Araquanid, Lycanroc Dustform, Gliscor, Luxray, the Oven, Corviknight, the best Pokemon, aka best fairy in the format, Aromatisse, and for Alligator. Um, I'm kidding about Aromatisse. I'm sorry. I love Aromatisse. It is definitely not. What do we think about this team? I'm gonna say this now. I'm not a fan of all your tier 2 and tier 1 without obviously Rotom and Corviknight all being megas. It's something I'm just not a huge fan of.
I mean Sableye is not a mega.
No,
Let's be honest.
Sableye's here to be drafting Sableye, but still, like, just.
Yeah, I think if Sableye was here to be a mega, which I really wouldn't expect it to be, there wouldn't be 2 megas.
Yeah.
2 other megas, that is.
It's just a weird team. You obviously have a Trick Room mode though with Aromatisse, Araquanid, I guess Corviknight. You have Tailwind with Corviknight, Gliscor. It's just weird. It seems more of a
Yeah,
bulkier
I'm
team.
not seeing the support to help Trick Room get up. Your only fake out Pokemon being Sableye. Unless
Yeah.
I'm missing something. I also don't see redirection. So I think getting Trick Room up is a little tricky. Obviously, this isn't hard Trick Room, it's not the end of the world, but I think you may struggle to actually use the Trick Room mode.
It's definitely a bulkier team for sure. Like your best attacker is like Electros or Mega Venusaur. I guess Lycanroc, but it's definitely more of a bulkier sort of mixed team.
Yeah, this is a very bulky team with kind of the only real exception being Lycanroc and somewhat for Alligator. It's gonna be very difficult to break. However, in general, you should. I think this team's gonna struggle to go first. I think your only reliable speed control is that Corviknight Tailwind, and Corviknight's very. It's pretty slow. It's pretty like slow to mid speed, I'd say.
While you did draft probably the best counter and draft to it in Rotom Heat, there's definitely ways you can go around it still.
Yeah.
And also, with only one ghost type and no redirect, they can just click the good old fake out button.
Yeah. Sableye like good support, however. There is, the speed control, it's there. I don't think it's reliable though. Corviknight's pretty reliable, it's just slow to get going. And you may want those move slots for other things. I feel like you're kind of forced to run Tailwind on Corviknight, which doesn't feel amazing. Because otherwise, you're never going first with any Pokemon aside from Lycanroc, or if you do manage to get Trick Room up, which I think you will struggle with.
We'll say you do cover ground types really well with your weakness for Mega Venusaur. Obviously, you did build that with, of course, in mind. That is a positive. I do like. I don't mind Mega Venusaur as a Mega. I think it's a pretty good Mega. If you're able to get it off correctly. Eel, I'm not sold on. I tried to use it. It wasn't that great for me, but I've seen it do pretty well. I think it's like you have the basis for I think a bulky good team. I just think another support item, like another support Pokemon, are just it's like missing just something.
Yeah, I understand the redirectors are. It is pretty difficult to get one off this draft board since there were so few. So
it's pretty dire.
I guess I will try not to be too critical about that. But it would have been a nice addition here. And just a fake out Pokemon that wasn't Sableye. I don't honestly think fake out's a good move on Sableye just because it has so many other moves. If you're running fake out, you're not really taking advantage of like the full utility it has, maybe in some matchups, but I feel like a lot of the time you don't have the move slots to run fake out, so you've got like half a fake out user basically.
And the only issue with Mega is even if you do want to run Screen, which is good, it does only last 4 turns, so it is stallable. For sure.
Yeah, I don't think Screen Sableye is the best set. I think that's a trap people are gonna fall into. Sableye is so versatile. There's so many. Yeah, exactly. There's so many different moves you can bring to different matchups, and like the Screens is generically the best into most things. However, when you can like specifically go for like when you can prep for each matchup individually, I think there's almost always going to be something better, at least something better than running both screens, right?
Again, I don't hate the team. I just think it's missing like 1 or 2 support pieces to help it out. Like you have support with Sableye, of course, and Corviknight, but I think helping initiate the Trick Room with the Rotom, helping Corviknight be able to get those Tailwinds off, helping Venusaur not take some damage, or helping Electros being able to pick up some kills, I think might help out here.
Yeah, like I think it's fine. It's like a bulky team. I just think the main issues for me are the speeds. I don't think you're getting up Trick Room reliably. Like you definitely can, and however, if I think it's just inconsistent because you're kind of hoping your opponent doesn't prep for it. Because it's just like it's like a mode of your team. If you bring Trick Room and they do prep for it, that it's like because you don't really know if they're gonna prep for it or not is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, Ombi made a good point. Your best form of speed control is Prankster, Sunny Day, Sableye, and to not Mega Egg your Venusaur and clicking Sleep Powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate
that
the
is
team.
something I could see them doing, to be fair.
Again, I don't hate this team. Don't take this as I don't hate the team. I'm just not more of a bulky sort of this type of team plays.
Yeah, I think I do like these kind of bulky offensive teams.
I know you're a pretty big fan of them, yeah.
Yeah, I just think you need something more on the faster end still, because when you have these bulky teams that are just very in the mid speed tiers, you give a lot of control over the match to your opponent. If they're the one going first, they're kind of taking control of how the game's going to go, right? So it can be a little tricky to do what you want, essentially.
I think a solid 4.5 for me.
I don't hate it. I think I also tried Eel like you said, and I didn't find success with it. But I do still think it has potential here. I just think it's very difficult to. It's not the type of mega you can prep for and explode. There's not really much you can do to prep for eel,
No.
which does give it some merit. And if you just take out like one like low tier that's like kind of frail with a thunderbolt, then you have that boost and you can get going.
I think I'll change it to 5.
I yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been writing a bit low. I think 5.5. I think this is actually like fine.
I'll be the harsh one. It's fine.
Just like speed tiers, I don't like.
All right, we're gonna move on to that Nintendo guy, and I promise this is not a 2-team. I will not rate it that time. I promise. We got second impression, not the first one. Kind of, they didn't do this, but kind of unironically, my second impression of this team is it's better than the first one they drafted and did better with. So it works. I kind of like the double exclamation marks of the Hexapod. We got Blaziken Mega. We got Palafin. We got Crocodile. We got Mimikyu. We got a Lawnmower. We got Dragon Mega. That's not a great one. We got Toucannon. We got Orthworm. We got Vanillux. We got Golurk Mega, and we have Mega Raichu Y. Interesting, there is 4 Megas on this team.
Yeah, that's I think that's the first thing most people will notice.
Yeah, 4 Mega. Again, I don't necessarily hate it. I think it's a bit too many, but I don't necessarily hate it. Just before we get there. You do have Firewater Grass Core. That's pretty good. I will say again, there is no fairy type, which I get there's a lack of fairies, but I'm not a well. There is fairy type. I'm stupid. Let's just disregard that. You do have a Trick Room with Mimikyu, Dragalge Mega, Orthworm, and Golurk Mega, so there is a viable Trick Room mode here. I will say that. You do. Does this have? Does Toucannon get Tailwind? I don't think so. No.
Sorry, does who get Tailwind?
Does Toucannon get Tailwind?
Toucannon, I have no idea. Let me check.
I'm sorry. I just because I know Rotom don't anymore, so I just have to admit.
Yes,
Okay,
Toucannon does.
so you technically do have Tailwind. I'm sorry. Before I incorrectly misspoke and said you wouldn't have Tailwind, you do have Tailwind. It's just it's also on Toucannon.
Technically.
Technically. So you don't really. So it is Trick Room, but you do have Speed with a Mega Blaziken, so it's not that big of a deal. Rotomo does also get Scarf Electro Web thing, so you do have forms of Speed Control that isn't Tailwind. I think you should, although I would prefer a better Tailwind user. I think your top Pokemon here are mostly physical if you don't bring Raichu Y, is something I definitely mention as well. The team's mostly physical based. Your only special attackers are what Mo, Dragalge, Vanillux, and Raichu Y, if I'm correct. So you'd have a lot of physically based Pokemon, which isn't necessarily bad. I just think if you're not bringing like if you're trying to bring like Mega Choo Y and like Blaziken, it's kind of might be hard because you might need a Mega one over the other, and not Megating Blaziken does make it miss out on significant power. Besides this, I don't think it's a bad team.
Yeah, look at this team. Just for starters, get it out of the way. I have no issues with the type chart here.
I don't either.
Seems
I
all
get.
good.
Go ahead. The only one comment I will make. Your
yeah,
only
go
fake
ahead.
out user is on your Mega Raichu. Just want to point that out.
Yeah. I think the main issue here is just you have 4 megas. That is a lot. We're playing what, 9 weeks, and there's 4 megas. You can bring at most 2 to a match unless you just fully don't mega them.
But then you're just losing an item slot for no reason.
Yeah, which I really wouldn't recommend not megaing any of these. And Raichu can function as kind of more a supporty mon, but that's not ideal. Blaziken, again, can kind of function as support without the mega, but you are just missing out on the item. They would both like to be holding a focus sash if you're running like a support non-mega set.
Or Shuckleberry.
Or Shocker. Yep, that too. Something to make them not die in one hit. Um,
Yeah, we do got a kind
I
of
think,
paper thin a little bit without Mega Draft here.
yeah, I think we should swap out one of the, because we have like what, two tier one like speedy megas and then two lower tier trickery megas. I think we just need the single fast mega and the single trickery mega.
Yeah, I'd honestly probably end up switching out the Raichu Y and the Dragalge. I know everyone loves the
Yeah,
Dragalge, but that would be what I would
I
switch out.
I do think Mega Dragalge is actually very good for tier four.
I
I
just
think
like
swap out the
Mega
Raichu
Bowling
Y.
better.
Um, yeah, I think swap out the Raichu Y. Then
I
it's
get
really
you
up to you
wanted.
between
I
Golok and
do get why
Dragalge.
you drafted it. I do get it, but I just don't think it's like it's kind of weird with Blaze. Blaziken and Raichu Y Megas together. I think it's just a little awkward, in my opinion at least. Again, I don't hate to.
Yeah,
There's definitely stuff I like, and I like the Intimidate with Crocodile as well.
yeah. This is like it's a weird team because like in theory, it's great and everything works. It's just the fact that there's a bunch of your tools that you can never use together because they're all megas, which means you actually don't have a lot to work with when you think about the fact you can only ever bring one of those megas to a match.
I think this is
I think those kind of mid tier, like tier twos and threes, like tier twos, threes, fours, and five, are gonna have to pull a lot of their weight just because you can't bring like you've got two tier ones, you can like never bring them together unless you're using them as utility. So I think a lot of the way it's going to be have to pulled by the mid tier non megas, which is iffy.
I think this is basically Mega Blaziken's meant. I think it was drafted as your star of the show, like chat mentioned, and Palafin. I think
Yeah,
you need some more support for it. If you want it to star, you need some support to make it star, and I think it's missing some of the support needed to make it star. But overall, I don't think the Mon quality, there is some solid quality Mons. Like overall, the Mon quality is pretty good. I just think with a few little changes, I think it would make it a better team.
yeah. Like I like the team. It's just the fact you can't bring all the pieces together, which is weird. Um,
Yeah,
I suppose it's time to rate it then.
I'm gonna
What am
rate
I
it a
thinking?
4 for 4 megas
I'm
based.
I'm thinking a bit higher to be fair.
I
I
probably a little bit higher, but I'm just gonna stick with 4 for 4 megas because it's based.
that yeah, that is funny. I respect that.
Again, I'm not
Um,
actually thinking of that, but with how based it is, yeah, I'm just gonna rate it 4.
let me just I'll give it like 5. I'll give it 5.
Yeah, I think 5.5 is even valid as well. Just as a general term as well. Then we got Empress Lily here with Whoopers, the Whooper Warriors. We got all the Whoopers and the Whooper fans coming out here. We got Sinister Farigiraf Aggron Mega. We got Hard Trick Room basically again. Um, we got Slowking Galar, so we have Hard Trick Room again. We have a
Yeah,
Refrigerator. We have Incineroar, or not Incineroar,
that is not
Infernape,
Incineroar.
Infernape, Pinsir, Mega Staraptor, which I will have comments on after. One of the best draft Pokemon of all time, Primarina, and I'm totally not biased. Um, Raichu Alola, and then another fairy type that is. I have some words about this fairy type afterwards, but it's Slurpuff. Where would we like to start with this?
Okay, let's see.
All right,
What is it is Mega Raptor here. I am to be fair, I think it is a pretty good tier one. I think people will come up with a lot of creative counters to it though, which this is obviously its first season. I think it will be
it
quite
is
difficult to predict
it is
how
a
people are going to
creative
counter it.
counter machine. I feel like everyone finds
Yeah,
something creative to mess with Staraptor Mega. Not that I think it's a bad
yeah,
Pokemon. You just have to expect if you're bringing it, there will be some wonky something that they will have to counter it.
yeah. maybe like a couple seasons in, it will be better once its counters are more known about. But right now, I think everyone's going to come up with some weird,
Hmm.
wacky way to beat it, and
I
it's
will
going to be
say,
quite difficult to deal with that. I don't think it is a strong one for its tier, of course, but
I
just
do.
keep. It'll be difficult to use for sure.
Yeah, I do like some of the pieces here. I like Sinister, I like Graph. I think Primarina and Trick Room, while it's not the slowest, I think it's a very good Pokemon in Trick Room. I think Furirath actually can hit harder than you think. And Mega Aggron, if they don't bring anything to kill Mega Aggron and you're in Trick Room, you do just win the game. For real.
Yeah.
And this one
Um.
has an easy time, is easier to set up Trick Room because you have Sinister Graph, so it is kind of hard to kill both of those and guarantee that
Yeah. I think this is actually
it's up.
like this is definitely a more interesting Trick Room mode
Hmm.
because I really don't think you need Trick Room. Um, Given your abusers, Primarina's like fine with or without it. So I like Trick Room as a mode for that. Um, and Aggron really doesn't need it. Like I'll be honest, that guy sits on the
Hmm.
field, takes attacks, and hits you back and kills you. It doesn't care if it goes first or not. Um,
I would
and
have
I
liked to
think,
see a prankster Pokemon on this team, I think.
yeah, I'm actually going to give the complete opposite criticism to what I've said to the other Trick Room team. Because I think you got too hard in like setting up Trick Room. Um, while you have, it's like a Trick Room mode where I don't think Trick Room's needed. I don't think it's that important. I think having a setter to be able to set it up's nice, but I don't think you need like Sinister for Regiroth, Slowking, all to just set up Trick Room here when your abusers. Neither of your abusers really need Trick Room.
You know what'd be good here instead of Slowking?
Go
Conkeldurr.
on. Um, I disagree. There's two fighting types here already.
If there wasn't two fighting types, I'd love Conkeldurr. But no, I
Yeah,
think a tier
yeah.
three.
Maybe
If
like
there's
if you
a
replace
tier
Slowking
three,
with like a proper Trick Room abuser, then like yeah, I
yeah.
could see
Is
it. But
there any like a special attacking trick room reducers in tier three that might be pretty good? Probably not a lot.
not a clue.
Armarouge is an idea. I mean, the Mega Camera up is there. Just saying, it is there. You don't need a third Mega, but it is there. Uh, Mega Drampa was an idea. If you're talking about like non-megas, Gudrahus, Hyd Rhyperior. Rhyperior's there. I don't mind
Yeah,
Rhyperior.
you could take Rhyperior over Slowking, then you have more of a Trick Room mode. I don't know if like you could just trade one of the Trick Room mons, or you could trade like
Mm-hmm.
either just Furrow or Slowking and lean harder into. You could lean harder either into Trick Room or into
Mm-hmm. Tailwind too,
not
with
Trick
because
Room.
Staraptor could be
Like,
Tailwind as well. All right.
yeah, I
Let.
just don't think Aggron needs a Trick Room, and Prem can like function
Mm-hmm.
without it fine. I don't think it's like I don't think you need three Pokemon, especially a tier 1 and 2 dedicated for setting it up. I do like Sidisha here anyway though. Like
I do too. I
I
think
I,
Sinister's
I
solid too.
it's a very bulky team. Having the hospitality is really good. I've been
Redirection
yapping about the
for
Trick Room mode a bunch, but
redirection for
I do
Staraptor
I
is
do
good.
like the rest of the team.
Yeah, redirection for Staraptor is also good. I think in general it's pretty good as well. Like even without Trick Room, you have solid redirection and you block fake outs into Staraptor or Primarina so they can set up either a Calm Mind or other things. So I think it's definitely still very solid that way as well. You have obviously Fernape is there as well. Fridge is the fridge, but I need to talk about Slurpuff for a second. Okay, I get everyone likes Slurpuff as a tier 5. Why did we get rid of the best thing it had in Belly Drum? Why does it not get Belly Drum anymore? I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah,
why?
it's
What are we thinking here? Like, we took the one good thing about it, Game Freak, and you took it away. Like, I get taking away some of it, but that was not necessary. Like, like,
yeah.
come on.
I'm gonna be honest. Whenever I look at a team with Slurpuff, I see a 10 Pokemon team.
I know because it doesn't have Belly Drum. Its main thing
It
it's
doesn't
used
do
for.
anything.
It doesn't do anything anymore. It's just there to do nothing. And I feel so bad about saying that, but it's just not a Pokemon anymore. It doesn't have
It's just like
anything.
a really, really terrible support Pokemon.
Yeah, like, it just feels so bad. Like, it feels so bad. Well, say Sinister and Aggron's also very hard to break.
Yeah, Cine with both of the megas is very good.
Until
I
you
just like the
until you
hospitality,
lose to
heal
a
up, redirect.
double Zard Heatwave crit, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Also,
Uh,
like, I think Sinister alone is enough to set up Trick Room,
True.
right? Because Sinister's doing so much more than just setting up Trick Room. You can't assume, hey, the Sinister's going to set up Trick Room. I need to stop it from
Okay.
doing that. Because most of the time it's not. Like, I think Sinister alone is good enough to set up Trick Room, and it just gives you the option. I don't think you need the rest.
I,
Um,
I get Slurpuff. Chat. I get Slurpuff has things to boost Staraptor Mega. You can't tell me there is another Pokemon on the board that couldn't do the same exact thing 50 times better.
yeah, Slurpuff, it like it doesn't
I'm
really have
sorry.
anything going for it.
If that's the
It's
only thing
not
it's
bulky,
doing,
it's not fast until you proc on Burden, which good luck doing that in this format consistently.
I
Um,
would just not hit the Slurpuff. Like, I'm not attacking it. It's not gonna hurt me. Like, you would basically just avoid hitting or doing anything with the Slurpuff and just let it sit on the field. I think it's a solid team though. Like, I really do think it's a solid team, and you're like one or two changes away from being like one of the best solid teams in the format. I think.
yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
I'm thinking. I feel like we rated the first team too low, and now it's
Yeah, I feel bad.
because I rated that at 6.5. I don't know if I want to rate that like same or better or what.
I'm gonna move this to the number I will not say. The first one, and this will be a 6.5.
I think 6.5 too. I think it's gonna be difficult to break, and
Yeah.
that's the main
If
thing
you
going for it.
can't break this team, you will lose. But if you do manage to break it, then
Yeah.
but breaking it consistently, I think is going to be hard. I'm not. You're again. You're not getting. I'm not even reading that chat message out loud. You know exactly who you are. I'm not saying that. I said good luck. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah. All right. The last one of this is It's Bug with the Golden State Archaludons. Again, another great logo, and it has Archaludon. See, we can draft mascots related. We got Archaludon Talonflame. We got the Washing Machine. We got regular Greninja, Mega Sceptile, but there's no discharge Pokemon, minus Rotom Wash. Um, Absol Mega, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Uh, Barbaracle. We got Rain, Baby Rain, your specialty here. Base Mega Growths, a Baratic, and a Houndoom. What do we think of Rain?
Okay, so like as like the like drain draft player, um, I mean, Peliark will be very difficult to break. Surprising to no one. I like Batic. Batic's like surprisingly good. Doesn't have loaded dice this season, so you can't use Icicle Spear, so you're relying on kind of moves that can miss,
Mm-hmm.
which is and then you have the three water types other than Palaba, which are here for some reason.
I
When you're
get,
drafting Rain,
I
it's
get
not
why
just about
Greninja's here.
drafting a bunch of water types. You want like just a few solid abusers. Um,
I would like to see
I like,
Rotom, Wash, and Sceptile off this team, and for something else, for a different reason. Because Greninja, you can at least Water Shuriken or Chowdon, which is a real to give
yes, I like
stamina.
Greninja.
I
I'm not a
get,
fan of the other two water types,
I
Barbarical
get
Rotom.
having a secondary Mega. I just don't think drafting a Water type like Rotom Moss specifically at the discharge with the Sceptile is necessary.
Yeah, I think a different Rotom would have worked better if you're trying to go for Mega Scepter. Um,
I get Rain
and
Mega Sceptile is cool. Like, don't worry, I think it's a cool concept, but that's also your only Mega. Mega Absol, I'm sorry, is no. It's not good.
yeah, like Mega Absol's like it's a fine secondary Mega, but your primary Mega is also not that strong. I just think Sceptile should have been the secondary Mega, and I think this issue kind of stems from the fact that
Mm-hmm.
Rain this season was just too expensive to ever be great.
If there was a tier 2 Mega
Pelly was,
here, and maybe like the tier 4 was instead a Rotom 4 or like a
yeah,
different. and to have
Like
a
I don't think
mega
you need like the
septile,
Metagross.
like a mega plus mega septile plus a different Rotom form and get rid of the Absol I think it would be even better. Because that you have that
Yeah, like you don't
secondary
need the
mega
Metagross.
safety.
That's tier 2. You can get a Mega in there. I'm also iffy on Talonflame, just because you have a Tailwind setter, and it's a pretty good one, even if it's not very fast. And you have nothing to really take advantage of Talonflame's Tailwind. Like maybe the Mega Absol. I don't see anything else that's like maybe Metagross. I can't see anything really that's taking advantage of Talonflame's Tailwind. Archaludon is obviously always going to prefer to be next to Pelipper rather than Talonflame.
I
Same with
I wouldn't hate a Mega Metacham here, or like even Mega Skarmory. Like a Mega Metacham here I wouldn't hate. Loki. Gives you an access to another
yeah,
fake out
I don't
mon,
hate that.
and it's very strong. Trying to break Archaludon Rain with like Mega Metagross, a potential Mega Septile mode with Greninja, I think is very strong. I think it's a good team. It's just like one or two pieces away from being like I'm scared. I'm running the complete opposite direction from, hey, this is a solid team. I need to be wary of it, and it's still a good team too. Oh my God, run away.
Yeah, I'm just checking what tier Houndoom is real quick to decide whether or
4.
not I hate it. Is it tier 4
I think
or
it's
tier 5?
no, it's tier 5. Okay, we're good. I don't mind
Okay,
Houndoom.
that's fine then. I'm not gonna hate on that. I think the picks I feel iffy about. I've explained most of them already. I think Talonflame's Mega Absol as a secondary Mega, it's fine. However, I don't think your primary Mega is strong enough, really. So I don't think Absol's good enough of a secondary Mega. I think if you're drafting like a mid-tier Mega, you want another mid-tier Mega. I think you need at least a tier 2 to
Yeah,
justify
I
drafting
have.
like a low-tier Mega to back it up.
I,
Um,
I,
I don't like I don't like Barbarical. I don't like Rotom Wash. I think you could have got a different Discharge Eater rather than Rotom Wash. I don't hate the Sceptile mode, but I just think Rotom Wash being another water type, you like it's rain, but you don't need water types. Rain isn't about just drafting a bunch of water types.
yeah, I wish
Same reason why I really don't like
unironically,
Barbarical.
Rotom Fan I would take here in tier 4. I think Rotom Fan's a decent
If
pickup.
you also drop the Talonflame, then yeah, Rotom Fan sounds pretty good. There's also a tier 4. You're dropping Rotom Wash, which is what, a tier 2 for a tier 4, then that means you can upgrade your Mega Absol from tier 4 to a tier 2 Mega.
Like Mega
Um,
Chan.
yeah, exactly. I
Um,
also don't like the Metagross, I've said that already,
yeah.
but and yeah,
Quick.
the Barbaricles, I don't like Barbarical at all.
Yeah. I don't think the person who has a Suian Arcanine is gonna want to trade that for Talonflame. Squirrely. Um. Also,
Yeah,
no
hi,
offense.
I have Hisuian Arcanine. I don't want Talonflame.
What is your group? No offense to this group. You didn't draft Annihilate. Nobody drafted Golden Go. Nobody drafted Incineroar. Nobody drafted Kingambit. Nobody drafted Mousehold. Nobody drafted Sableye. What the hell is
Okay,
going on?
Sableye bait. Like, what are you guys doing in the older groups? Like, I'm sorry.
I know, but like the other ones are a little questionable. Not to have just in general. But yeah,
There's like a lot of tier 1s. We're not gonna draft them all. Like, come on.
this is a solid team though. Like I think it's a 7 to 7.5 team for real. Just with a few changes, this could be one of the scariest teams in the whole entire draft format.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm just more harsh on rain teams because I just have a very strict formula I follow when I draft rain teams, and I don't. I'm just not a fan of this. It's Archaludon though, and Archaludon means you just win half of your matchups by default. Um,
True. So again, I get your. I'll be the non-harsh. I think it's a good team with a few changes. This could be one of the best teams in the format.
mm,
All right, we're going to go to.
I
Go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, wait, one moment.
Squirrely is
My
here.
rating for this. Um, I'll give it like I'll give it 6.5.
All right. We're now going to go to Group 6. Neither of us are helpers in this. But shocker, we're going to do a
Yep.
helper first.
Also, I
But
think we should speed up a little bit as well.
yeah, we're going to try to speed up a little bit.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think this happens every power rankings video.
Yeah, we start off rant and we'll get a
You
little. I
go
apologize.
one group, you go, oh shit, this is taking forever,
Forever.
and now we.
Yeah. All right. So we
I
have
think I think you just like go through everything you want to say, and then I'll go through everything I want to say.
yeah.
I think that'll be the quickest way to get through it.
All right, we're gonna see first. So we have Group 6 here: Damage, Dabtro, Cactulay, Running Room, David Klein, Emerus, Platinum Barrettes, Mimi, Kimis, and Hi. How's your day? Pretty good. We have a new helper, Dam's Edge, drafting Mega Gengar and Garchomp. You'll see this a little later. Um, you got Garchomp, Mega Skarmory, which was interesting. Um, Mega last season. We got Arcanine, Tinkaton, Blastoise, Scoville, and regular Starmie, Mega Gengar, Altaria, Gallade, Luxray. I will say, like I did in my draft breakdown, I love Gengar, Garchomp. I think they're two great value Pokemon. Arcanine's pretty good here for Intimidate. Blastoise and Tinkaton are two Fake Out users, so you have two Fake Out users, though Blastoise is a little bit slow. Uh, Skarmory Mega is interesting. I like Mega Skarmory. It was pretty good last season. The Stalwart's an okay ability in draft. Um, to be honest, I think draft is pretty good. Uh, Stalwart's pretty good, especially in this format where you are looking for like your redirection and other stuff. Um, Scovillain's I think okay. I get why you still use as a redirector in the limited redirector here, but my big issue is outside of like Garchomp, Mega Garga, Arcanine, damage could be a little lacking here. But I think you do have good support. And you do have Trick Room stoppers with Gallade and Mega Gengar, although your team would definitely prefer to operate outside of Trick Room, as it doesn't really have a Trick Room like abuser or something you can do that way. And to speak about the Perish Trap incident, you do have ways to Perish Trap to keep it in with double fake out and redirection. So if you were to go a Perish Trap move, it is definitely possible. I don't have the type chart or anything in front of me, so I'm not going to speak to that. I think it's a solid team. There's some holes in general, but I think overall it's pretty solid.
All right. I'll go ahead now. So I like this team. In terms of the type chart, you have like a small ground weakness. More major thing is Ghost. You have no Ghost resist. You have three weaknesses. I know you have Mega Gengar, which kind of like is half a resist and half a counter, but still, strong Ghost moves will. There's no resists. I think that's obviously quite a big thing. If I'm prepping for this team, I'm bringing ghost attacks. I know you can't switch in and resist it. It's going to do good damage no matter what. Similar issue with dark, but not as bad because Tinkaton resists it. I think most of these pieces are pretty solid. I like Skarmory as the secondary megas. I think that goes really well with Garchomp, as was already discussed. Then yeah, you got some very bulky pieces. I do like the style of team. It's just bulky and you have good damage. Speed tiers are pretty good actually. You have Tailwind from Skarmory if it's needed. Yeah, I like it actually.
I'm going to go 7.5.
Um,
Because I think
I will.
ghosts are a little bit difficult, and your only tail room is Skarmory if you don't bring it, so you could get outsped pretty easily well with your other pieces. And it's also a little physical heavy offensively.
Uh, just want to correct you that Altaria does get Tailwind.
Okay, I'm still going to retain my point. Altaria's not that great.
That's fair. Yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the 7.5 or 8? I'll give it 8. I like it.
All right, we're going back to Death Trevdo now. Um, we got Unknown United. We have Sun. We have Torkoal Farigiraf for your Trick Room base mode. You have Kangaskhan, Araquanid Vileplume, Ampharos Mega, Avalakasuian, Aerodactyl Mega, Arcanine Sui Mega, Steelix Dedenne. First comment, I don't think I've ever seen this many rock types on a team before, so fair credit um, for having 3 rock types. Let's go. Well, 4 rock types, or no, 3 rock types. Steelix, duh. Um, you have Trick Room, Torkoal Farigiraf with Araquanid, and like that's Torkoal's your big Trick Room attacker. I guess Ampharos Mega is a Trick Room attacker. Um, you have Tailwind with Aerodactyl, though it is covering a lot of it's trying to cover a lot of bases this year. I think it's very Trick Room heavy in general, because Kangaskhan, Aerodactyl, Arcanine, and Sui is your outside of Trick Room, which are good mons, don't get me wrong, but kind of megging Aerodactyl and Arcanine and Sui and bringing two of them means you have just infinitely horrendously weak to water if you don't bring Torkoal plus Araquanid. Um, I think it's still solid. I think it's better than the other Sun team because it has a little more versatility. I'm not really sold on Mega Ampharos. I guess Mega Aerodactyl is sometimes a little situational if you want to Mega or not. I don't know if it's the type of Mega where if Mega Ampharos is your only other secondary Mega, which you know is most likely a Trickery mode, that you want to be Mega Aerodactyl every single time. I don't hate it though. I think it's a solid 6.5.
Okay. I think it looks fine. My main issue is your Trick Room Mega is like pretty low to I mean I'm not a fan of Trick Room teams. Well, to set it up, you've got Farigiraf, Kang, and then you don't have Free Direction unless I'm missing something.
Vileplume. Does it
Mm,
get Rage Powder still?
That doesn't get Rage Powder.
Alright, instantly drop to 6.
Yeah. Uh, I do like Vileplume for Torkoal because it just gives you another thing people have to prep for on lead, which I think is valuable for a Trick Room team where people,
Mm-hmm.
hard prep for Trick Room on lead. So giving, you have the Aerodactyl Mega Tailwind as well as the Torkoal plus Vileplume modes that people have to prep for as well as Trick Room on lead. So it is good. I I don't know how good the Tailwind mode is though. You have Mega Arrow, you have Arcanine to deny some additional speed control, which isn't really needed to be honest. Then what? Kangaskhan? That's not doing a lot of damage unless you're running like last resort, but I don't really like that set and draft. That's more of again a support Pokemon with Fake Out. There's just not much that takes advantage of the Tailwind. And yeah, your Trick Room Mega feels weak, and you don't really want to be bringing Arrow to Trick Room games. Pretty type chart doesn't look good.
I don't even want to
So
see
we
the type
have a
chart for
pretty
that one.
big ground weakness. Yeah, Torkoal, Ampharos, Avalugg, Steelix, Dedenne, then Arcanine, Hisui with the quad weakness. To ground with your counters being Araquanid and Mega Arrow resisting it. However, you also have a rock weakness, and both of your ground resists are weak to rock, and your singular rock resist is weak to ground. And that's a pretty common type combo, so ground plus rock is going to kill this team. I guess, aside from Araquanid and moving first and killing it with a water move, of course. Fighting is not amazing type matchup, but whatever. It's like a fine team. I'm gonna give it. Try this quick. I'll give it 6.
I think that's fine. I'm pretty sure that's fine from Pin. Next, we got Cactus Way. First comment, you might want to change that LeBron jersey. He's not going to be on the Lakers anymore. But we just got a really weird team here. Um, Basque Legion M, Sableye Mega, Corviknight, Rotomo, Reuniclus, Ariados, Simipour, Tyranitar Mega, Infernape, Dragalge, Arbok. Both your Megas are Dark type. And one of your Megas isn't really a Mega with Mega Sableye. I guess you could Mega it with this team, but you're basically running Mega Tyranitar Sand, which means Basque Legion's basically stuck doing adaptability Scarp things most of the time. Corviknight, you do have Tailwind to boost the speed, but Basque Legion in general is not the fastest Pokemon in the world. Rotomo's decent support for Speed Troll, and an interesting choice here. Reuniclus is there for Trick Room, but it's okay, I guess. You have Redirection with Ariados if you're trying to set up with Calm Mind Sableye or Iron Defense Corviknight, I guess, is your two setup Pokemon. Simipour. It's there for fast fake out and has water move for tier 5. It's whatever. Tyrannicmar is interesting. I guess you will be trying to Dragon Dance and win with Rock Slides and stuff. It's kind of effectively one Mega. Infernape's okay. Dragalge is whatever, and Arbok's kind of whatever. I just. This team's confusing. Um, to me. I think it's kind of a bunch of jumbled pieces. Has some synergy, but not like a real synergy, if that makes sense. It's like you drafted I don't know if this is true. It's like you drafted Basque Legion and then just started picking everything else. I don't know how Basque Legion doesn't seem mostly effectively like supported in this sort of place. I'm gonna go like a 4.
Um, okay. I don't hate it. Um,
I'm
I
probably a little
think,
low on this team, but I just eh.
yeah. Uh, well, so Trick Room mode set by Reuniclus, you have Fake Out and Redirection. You then have Dragalge for Trick Room offense as well as Reuniclus itself. I think both Basque Legion and Mega Tyranitar can actually work on the Trick Room in the right matchups. I've also seen Iron Ball Basque Legion before. Obviously, with that ability, it's a pretty scary Trick Room attacker. Alternatively, fast mode, what you've got Infinite, Rotom, Basque, Titar, Corviknight, I guess Simipour too. So it's a pretty bulky kind of fast core. It could be a little faster. Maybe we'll see things like Scarf E-Web on the Rotom, or just Scarf Basque. I also wouldn't be surprised to see coaching Infinite for either Mega Tyranitar or Basque Legion.
True.
Even Corviknight even. Um, like the type chart is, I mean, it looks fine. There's no fairy. You got a lot of ground weaknesses, but who doesn't? The two immunities at least. Um, no rock resist. Something I want to point out. That's a weird one. That's not a common one to not have a resist to. There's only one weakness though, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I like it. I think this is, unless your opinion changes, I think this is like our biggest difference in judgment so far. Um, and also, I just like completely overlook the Sableye. That's like pretty nice. I mentioned like bulky. And your fastbow is pretty bulky, right? So that can just kind of beef up those with screens if you want, or alternatively just be an annoying support. Obviously, not using it as the mega. I'll give it like 6.5.
I may go 4.5 to 5, but I don't know. It's just weird to me. I get what you're saying. It's just weird. We got running around with run some games. We have another Sinistra plus Mega Rich. We have Samurai Hisui. We got Talonflame. We got Mega Emboar the first time, and I think one of the only teams that has Mega Emboar. Gudra Hisui, Salt, Emolga, Mega Raichu Y, Superior, Lycanroc Hisui, or sorry, like not Lycanroc Hisui, Zora Hisui, and then Lycanroc regular form. Um, um, it's interesting. I don't know if there's a better word to say interesting for it. You have Sinister with Redirect Tailwind. I guess your Trick Room abusers is Mega Emboar and Gudra Hisui. Unless we're kidding like Iron Defense Garganackle. You have Samurai Hisui there, which is cover like dark weaknesses, I guess. You have Talonflame for Tailwind, but I mean, not really too much cares about Tailwind. Mega Raichu Y is already ridiculously fast. Superior is ridiculously fast, and I guess Zora Hisui could hit pretty hard as disguise everything. You do have two defined modes, like very defined modes, so it's kind of hard to bring sometimes Pokemon from one mode to another. I can feel. It just feels kind of weird. You have two fire types as well. You have two fire types, two grass types, two ghost types, two electric types. Your typing seems kind of really redundant. Um, I was
Yeah,
wondering if you
two rocks and flyings as
two
well.
rocks, two flying. The type chart is probably I don't even want to see it on this one. It's probably weird. I don't know, it's just weird. I think you have pieces roots, and I'm not really the biggest Mega Emboar believer in the world, personally. I don't know. I don't want to be too harsh. I'll hear what you say before I have a rating. You do have also, I guess, fake out with Mega Raichu Y still, so there is something there.
I'll start off by saying type chart actually doesn't look too bad. Somehow, that being said, I think offensively you're missing a lot. I think having diversity in types is actually more important than your weaknesses and resistances themselves. Because you have more types, you have more different types to hit things with. I think that the offensive typings are arguably more important than the defensive ones. You're missing fairy, like fairy, ice, and ground, which are all like they're all like very good offensive types. Even poison's helpful against opposing fairies. And your one steel type is also a dragon type. I think I don't hate it. What you've got like a the Raichu Y. I'm not a fan of Raichu Y. It's like okay, it's not the only mega there's because Ember is here too. Yeah, I don't get the Emolga since you already have Talonflame. I don't Lycanroc. I don't like Lycanroc just because you have a rock type. There's no sand. I don't see why it's here. Superior. I don't personally like it, but whatever. Zoroark. Sure. I think Zamra's a fine water type. It's just expensive for what it is. I don't hate it, to be fair. Gudra and Garganacl are definitely interesting with the Sinister. Having that Hospitality Life Dew, just very annoying with Soul Cure or Iron Defense stuff. So that would be difficult to break for sure. I'll be interested to see if the Ember works. Because like bulk up strats in theory sound pretty good on this thing, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, it's a weird one. This team's very fast. Hmm. Where to rate this? It's so fast.
Yeah, I know it's fast, but it's fast.
Hmm. I I weirdly don't hate it. There's no ground type though, which is really important. Um, I'll give this. I feel weird rating this high. I feel like I shouldn't.
I'm going like a 5. I'm gonna be honest. It's just we. I just.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, I'm not thinking
fast.
of rating this like high, but like
It's
it's like
fast.
5.5 or 6 for me. Uh,
It's like you weirdly
you know,
enjoy it.
yeah. I I think if there was a ground type, I'd like it more. That's like my main issue. There's like some other issues we've gone through, but like, um, well, let's get this moving on with. I'll go 6,
Yeah.
whatever.
Sorry if we're going a little fast. We don't want to be here for 4 hours. I'm sorry. Uh,
Yeah.
we got David Glenn. We got the Orlando Mega with their 2 megas that they're using. They have Mega Staraptor, Meowstic Male, Ninetales Alola, Mimikyu, Greninja, Jolteon, Sceptile. Um, we got with no Mega Sceptile. Okay. Um, Golden Ghost, Grafty, Glacier, and Toucanon. Why don't you start off with this one?
Um, give me a moment to pull it
Uh,
up.
uh, I
Right. Okay. You commented on this non-Mega Sableye. I think it's a really good tier 5. Base 120 speed shed tail. Like I think that's like decent value for tier 5. Um, type chart, fairy weakness, right? Golden. Okay, you have Goldango to be fair, but then your weakness is a Scrafty, Greninja, Mega Raptor. Having both Mega Raptor and Scrafty is definitely interesting. Two like they're both effectively intimidate mons that are weak to fairy. Then small ice weakness. That doesn't look that bad. Fire weakness is more concerning though, with Alolan Ninetales, Gholdengo, Sceptile being weak to it, and Greninja being the only resist, which, I mean, a Pokemon that changes its type all the time and has like 0 defensive stats, I wouldn't count that as a resist, to be honest.
No,
Um,
it's not. That doesn't count.
right. So to not make a Raptor team, you have okay, weirdly you have both Alolan Ninetales and Meowstic, which I really hate. Um, because Meowstic's main role is setting screens, Alolan Ninetales part of it. I mean, there's no like snow abusers here, so like basically its main role is setting Veil and clicking Blizzard, right? As well as other random support stuff or a fairy move. Um, so I don't like the fact you've got essentially 2 screen setters. I really like having one because obviously Mega Raptor appreciates it a lot. Um, but I don't think both are necessary. Um, I like Mimikyu as kind of a trick room mode purely because you just don't have to run it as a trick room mod. Um, because I think having a slow mo is decent there, even if things are generally on the higher end of speed tiers. You're a very bulky team. If someone's trying to go Tailwind against you, you can just set up Trick Room. Um, overall, I don't. I think it's pretty decent. You're missing a few types, nothing too important. Um, yeah, I don't hate it.
I'm looking at something on mine. You can continue. All right. I like it. I think I agree with you. Meowstic and Ninetales the same too is a little awkward. I unironically think this might have been a team if you get rid of the Ninetales and actually just regular Floette Eternal on it. I unironically think that'd be pretty good behind screens and with what you have here.
You don't even need that because you do have Mimikyu as a fairy type.
I know, but I'm just theory crafting. Let me cook. Let me cook.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I like it. The fire weakness is a little concerning, but you do have screens plus veil. You're probably not bringing. The only thing I will say is you're probably not bringing both to the same game a lot of the time. So you have two tier twos. You're
Well,
not really bringing both to the same time. You can,
I mean, you can't click both, right?
like, well, you can. It just won't work. Um,
Well, yeah.
but yeah, but I think Mimikyu is a good Pokemon. I think just I would prefer a bulky water for some fire resist, or just something other than the Ninetales Alola. But I agree. I like Golden Go on this team. I like Draft and Mega. It is interesting you're both weak to Fairy, but you did draft well to have Fairy resist in bonus. Well, I think it's a solid team. Like, it has mode. You can set up Trick Room, can set up Tailwind. You don't have to set up either because you have speed control options. So with Jolteon, if you just want to click that, click first and click Discharge. That's always an option. Um, I think overall it's actually a pretty solid team. I'm actually a pretty big fan of it for, like you said. I think for a Raptor team, it actually has some potential as well. I think Staraptor and Golden Go have great synergy as well. With the fighting switching in or the fairy switching in, you want to hit Staraptor, Golden Go can easily just switch in and taking those hits as well. Um, so I think it's a solid 7 for me.
Yeah.
I kind of really
Um,
like this team.
I think
Seems
the
like
only other
something
thing I
I
want
would
to touch on
use.
quickly,
Yep,
yeah, it's just your 2 megas. You draft 2 megas so they cover for each other. Both your megas are physical fighting types. They both have some weaknesses in common, which I don't like. I would have preferred to see a different secondary mega that covers for Staraptor better. In matchups you don't want to bring Staraptor, you bring another mega. Whereas here it just feels like Scrafty mega is not really going to want to come to the matchup Staraptor doesn't want to come to, right?
that's fair.
Because they both have a bunch of weaknesses in common. Anyway, I was also thinking 7, but I did just spot that at the end. So I think I'm going to move it down to 6.5.
That's fair. I might do this. I might kind of do the same thing as well with you, but I think it's still solid.
Yeah,
We have Emeritus 4, the Tailwind Tribunal. Uh, okay, with one Tailwind user. Um, we got the starter ultimate combo of Vincent Primarina. We got Komodo. We got Vivillon. We have Golurk Mega, Slowbro Galar, we got the Malamar, we got Mega Kangaskhan, we got Aegislash, Abomasnow, and we got Pikachu. I'm a pretty big fan of Kangaskhan Mega plus Incin and Prim. I think that's very, very good. I think Kangaskhan Mega is actually a really good Pokemon, and it's one of the things that didn't lose Double Edge as a Mega, so it still has solid damage and it still has Fake Out as well. I think Aegislash being able to cover for its fighting type weaknesses is very, very well as well. So while having Incin to just generally intimidate and take down damages as well. It is weak to fighting as well, but you do also have, like you said, Aegislash. You also have Primarina, which can take on the swing types with Fairy and deal with special attacks, which Incineroar and Kingston Mega aren't dealing out. Vivian I like as a Tailwind and resupporter here. I think Tailwind could be in the right situation pretty good for this team. I do have an issue with Tailwind a little bit. Obviously, you have Golurk, Mega, and Slowbro Galar and Palmer for Tailwind, or sorry, Trick Room. My apologies. You can play in Trick Room, but getting that mode up for Mega Golurk could be a little tricky. Because I think majority of the time, I think you're bringing Instant Preem, Mega Kangaskhan, and either Aegislash, Vivian, or something else. I think is almost solid in a 90% of teams. I really like it, although well, I did draft Obama Snow myself, and I do like Obama Snow. I wonder for this sort of type of team if a different grass type would be a little bit better because you're not really benefiting a ton from snow. I mean, it doesn't hurt you, but you're not really benefiting a ton, and you do weaken your own Komodo a little bit with the snow. But I think it's overall a pretty solid team. I quite like it. I like the Aegislash Kangaskhan and Supreme. I think that's one of the most solid four we've seen. Um, so far we've drafted. I liked Vivian, but I'm a little biased in that sense. But the only issue I also have is Golurk Mega is also another physical Mega. I guess you want to cover. I guess you want to cover for fighting types and stuff that you might not want to bring Kangaskhan Mega in. But I'm thinking a special attacking Mega with Primarina. The only issue being that's your majority special attacker. You could ran Aegislash special as well. I think having another special Mega with this would make this team into another like elite level. I really like it though. I think it's a really solid and you did a good job. Off the head, it's probably a 7 to 7.5 in my opinion. I think it's a really well done team.
Okay. And my initial impressions of this team was it's really good. Spotted a couple things though. First off, the team isn't very fast.
Yeah.
Your fastest Pokemon is Mega Kangaskhan at base 100, and then Pikachu at 90, Vivian 89, Kommo 85. You then have 4 Pokemon at the speed tier of 60, which isn't amazing. Insane, Prim, Aegislash, they're all great. I wouldn't swap them out, even though they are all sharing the same speed tier, which is awkward. Abomasnow, however, is sharing that speed tier. I don't think it's a great mod. I don't think it fits the team. Could look at swapping that out. Just for something fast. I think at this point, like having a grass type is not even that important. I just think you need something fast. Whatever that may be.
Delphox.
Yeah.
Is in tier 4.
If you can
Espeon's in
find
tier 4.
something with like, yeah, Espeon works. I'm wondering if there's any like Rotom Fanny. Rotom Fan's like fairly fast. You can scarf that with E-Web. I think something faster with E-Web or Icy would be great. I don't know if there is anything left though, which is unfortunate unless I'm
right.
blind. I guess Frostlass, that's not actually that fast. It's like
no,
decent
it's Mega's
speed.
fast.
Yeah, Frostlass is it's like 80, 90-ish. It's like 90-ish, right?
Yeah.
It's not actually that fast.
No, it's not.
Okay, Alakazam could be funny with speed swap actually. That'd be kind of funny.
I guess you could. At some point, you could do Hawlucha.
Yeah.
There's another flying type and another.
But yeah, this team needs something faster, more immediate offense. I feel like I've also fallen in the trap of drafting like teams like this. It's bulky, you have great setup mons, but then when you need to just do damage quickly, you kind of just can't. Like what you have Kommo, which is kind of a setup mon. Even like Kommo, Aegislash, like they're not great immediate damage. Prim's like okay. Kang's decent immediate damage, but you're also using it for kind of fake out stuff. There's nothing here that's kind of just there's nothing here that explodes shit, right? There's nothing here that goes fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main issue. It looks really good, I will say that. I've been harsh, but like this team is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Incin, Prim, Aegislash, Como O, Mega Kangaskhan, Vivian, with also a little Trick Room mode tagged on the end, which I do quite like. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. What is your rating?
I'm gonna go 7.
I went 7.5. I went higher than you. That's a rare one.
That's fine.
All right, we have Platinum Burlitz, I think is how I pronounce it, with the Shaller City Sylveons. No Sylveon. I'm sad. And it's still in the pools. You have a chance. Just saying. We got Pelip. Sorry, I had to take a second to read some of these. Pelipper Crocodile, Azu Heloisk, Blaziken Roserade, Fortress, the best Pokemon probably in the game, Mega Altaria, Skeletor Sharpedo. I'm a little confused. You have Pelipper Helios Rain Mode with Speed Boost Sharpedo and Floette, I guess? It's the main deal. I feel like it's just lacking. It just doesn't overwhelm me. Of course, you blow up everything with Mega Floette, but at the same time, it's kind of just like meh. Everything else, you have great Mega Floette's good Pokemon. Pelipper is good, but doesn't really have too much benefiting from it. Crocodile's pretty good. I like Azu, but it's another fairy type. I feel like that Mega Flood's good, but I don't really like a 90% of what's around it. And I'm sorry, Mega Altar is your secondary Mega. You don't need a third fairy type when you Mega, and it's also just not that good of a Pokemon. If I would like a different secondary Mega here, I don't know, I'm just not that huge of a fan here.
Um, I don't like it either. Again, same thing I said earlier with Rain. Drafting just a bunch of water types is not what you should be doing with Rain. Pelipper is really expensive this season in Tier 1. I don't think you've got the Tier 1 value out of it. It's definitely not worth a Tier 1 here. Since your only abusers are Azuma or Sharpedo, not really, they're just water types. And Heliolisk technically, but Heliolisk is way better in Sun with solar power. Dry Skin, you're just like healing a bit at the ends of every turn, but your defenses are really, really low. The healing is not actually that good. I really hate the rain mode on this team. And then, yeah, your secondary Mega is Mega Altaria, which doesn't do anything. I could understand if you're drafting fairy types to try to take advantage of Fairy Aura, but Mega Altaria cannot take advantage of Fairy Aura because you can't have Mega Floette and Mega Altaria. And then, yeah, your backup Mega to your Fairy Mega being another Fairy Mega isn't great. They don't cover for each other's weaknesses. I also mentioned that earlier. I also just don't think the whole fairy aura thing leading into that with drafting more fairy types is a good idea. Floette is so much fairy power already. You don't need more. You need things to cover Floette's weaknesses. One thing I will say, Crocodile covers Floette's weaknesses really, really, really well. Ground hits all 3 of the things that resist fairy for super effectively, and you have Intimidate to lower physical attacks, which is, Floette's lower defensive stat. So I really like the Crocodile pick with Floette here. The rest is okay.
You also have
I'm going to quickly check the type chart.
no Trick Room.
It's
Can't set up Trick Room.
Yep.
So no set up Trick Room. Can't stop setting Trick Room going up against you. Though your team's decently slow. And your only talent is Pelipper and Altaria Mega, which you're not bringing if you have Floette, and Pelipper kind of just doesn't bring any value here.
Yeah, Pelipper's a pretty big waste of a tier 1 here, unfortunately. It's pretty expensive even if you are getting the full value out of it, and it definitely isn't here. Type chart looks okay. There's a few weaknesses, nothing major. I'm not going to complain about a ground weakness on every team because most teams have one.
True.
All right. Do you want to go to ratings now?
3. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry.
how hard do I think Mega Flood can carry? I'll give it 3.5. I like the Flood plus Krug.
All right. Next, going to Mimi with Arc of the X. So, okay, RCS meme. First Mega Raichu X team. We got Mega Raichu X. We got
I
Milotic.
believe it might be the only one, actually.
Well, we had one, and then trades were done to change that team.
Ah, okay.
Mega Raichu X. We got Milotic, Clefable, Gengar, Quackable, or Quaquable, whatever you want to call it. Goodra, base from Lopunny. We got Whimsicott, we got Liepard, we got Mega Steelix, and we have base form Drampa. What do you think of this team?
Right. This thing is bugging. Sorry, you'll have to give me a moment to
Yeah,
pull it up.
someone called the Buggo Brigade. We need some bugs fixed. I can talk a little bit. Mega Raichu X, I'm not sold on it. Uh, I think it could be good, maybe more than Y in a draft format, but I'm not completely sold on it. I think Clefable's pretty good with it, though. It's going to cover those fairy weaknesses pretty well. Has Follow Me as well, so that's going to be a big, big help for you. I think the Clefable plus Whimsicott's awkward. I think it's you have to really do one or the other. I think both of them are kind of awkward together. I don't mind the Milotic pick here, especially if you go base form Raichu and don't Mega it, you have access to Lightning Rod for the Melodic. Gengar is pretty solid here as well, but that is two of your main or two of your main attackers are both weak to ground. Um, with your only ground resist being Whimsicott, which it's a resist, but it's not really that big of a resist. So this team struggles against ground types, which is something that majorly pointed out to me. Steelix Mega, secondary Mega is okay, but again, I don't like secondary Megas that are also weak to the same thing that your main Mega is. Your main Mega is weak to ground. It's weak to Fairy. Sure, Steelix not weak to Fairy, but it's also weak to ground, and it can't really. It can handle
Sorry,
Fairy.
are you saying Raichu's weak to Fairy?
Is it not fighting type, or am I dumb?
No, it's pure electric.
All right, it's still weak to ground though. I thought they gave it fighting type. My fault. My fault. But still, it again, it's weak to ground, and your other Mega is also weak to ground, which is something I'm not a huge fan of, whatsoever. Um, Whimsicott seems kind of wasted. I get it for Tailwind and for the rest of your team, but I think again, once I said, I think it's Whimsicott or Clefable. I kind of like Clefable a little bit better with this team. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird of a team to rate. I'm looking at it. It's kind of hard to determine. And yes,
Yeah.
yeah. You guys can arrest me. It's not a Palmon. I know. I like Palmon. Okay.
So something I want to point out, which I feel like the person who drafted this team may not have considered, the Milotic. One of the things Milotic likes to do, you set up coil and you go for hypnosis, is right. You cannot click hypnosis under electric surge, at least not into
Nope.
anything that's grounded.
You cannot.
So that's something to keep in mind. Definitely reduces Milotic's value a bit. There's a bit of anti-synergy going on there. Two prankster users, which I've commented on before. I don't like that. I'm going to go over it again. Doubling up on types, Goodra, Drampa, Quavel, Milotic, Lopunny, Drampa, Fable, Whims, which I dislike for the same reason you said. I don't hate Mega Raichu X. I think it'll actually be. I think it has a lot of potential. I think in regular VGC, it was kind of fucked over by the fact that Rising Voltage doesn't kill Zard Y because it doesn't get the double power onto it.
Hey. You know
Which,
Game Freak's gotta love Charizard. I mean, like, come on. Like, we can't have anything that actually can kill Charizard. Yeah.
yeah, I think having the option to play either special or physical is very interesting because I do think both sets are equally viable depending on the matchup.
I agree.
So that'd be interesting. I don't dislike the Mega Raichu X. Stealing Mega's a little random here. Is there a Trick Room setter aside from Whimsicots?
Gengar.
Gengar, I mean, the same issue as Whimsicott.
So
It's like
so it's the same thing.
110 speed. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the team overall. Also, just damage. What, you have Mega Raichu and Gengar? I guess
Yeah,
the Duck. There's not a lot of damage.
I can't really rate this higher than a 3.5.
Yeah, I was thinking 4,
Yeah, that's
so I'll go
alright.
with that.
It has potential with some trades, like it has some pieces. I just don't think it came quite together the way they hoped. Next, we got
Yep.
Kimius 64 with twin guillotines. We got Grimmsnarl Mega Mawile, which I'll hold back with comments for now. Volcarona, Aerodactyl, Oranguru, Scrafty, Mega Dragalge, Manectric, Mega Mawile, Mamoswine, Clawitzer, and Banette. I'm gonna mention this again. Please stop drafting Megas that have big two common weaknesses. Please. I'm just gonna beg everybody. Let's not do this. Your whole team is weak to ground. Minus Aerodactyl, your whole team does not like taking a ground move. Please. Another Mega. I get you want 2 Trick Room Megas, but please get people listen to me. Drafting a Mega that would help you in the Tailwind mode you have with Aerodactyl, please, please consider it. Otherwise, Double Fairy with Mawile Grimmsnarl is not the best, but I get why. Screened Mawile in Trick Room is basically impossible to kill if you're able to set it up that way. With Volcarona Redirection, I do like that. Though your Trick Room setter is Oranguru, and we already talked about the issues with Oranguru earlier. With double, you also have Tailwind Volcarona to start to mention, but your Tailwind mode's kind of meh. You have Aerodactyl, Volcarona, and I guess Mamoswine technically for Tailwind. So you have double Tailwind, but you don't really have much to take advantage of it. Still pretty hard of a Trick Room team. If you're able to get screens plus Mawile up, that's great, but you might struggle with that a little bit. Also, the fact that you have minus Bayonet, like it's Bayonet, no Ghost type, Brick Break's pretty good into your team as well. Minus Mega Dragalge, so screens might be easy to be broken that way if someone with like Brick Break coverage is able to get there. I think it's an okay team. I just think it went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, your Trick Room set is a Oranguru. Not a fan of that. I guess you could choose Bennett as well, but same sort of deal. Both your megas are Trick Room megas. I think I wouldn't hate the Terran Fast mode if you just had a mega to support it.
Yep.
Um, I think you can play without Trick Room, but I think you have to go the screens mode in order to support your Mega Mobile, rather than really being able to go with the Tailwind. So yeah, I don't really know if the Aerodactyl is worth it here. Aerodactyl is generally very good value for tier 2, but I don't like it here. You have Volcarona for Tailwind if you need it, and I think you always, if you're not setting up Trick Room, you have to be going the Grimmsnarl bulky mode just in order to support Mobile, since that doesn't really work with Tailwind. And you don't really want to be running Grimmsnarl Aero, that just feels bad.
Yeah. I will.
Type chart, like
Well,
again, you said ground weakness. Sorry, go on.
all right, I'm just going to address a comment we got. We did say, talk about some of the double megas commentary. The choices are what's in tier 4, provide the possible angle is what's the strongest tier for mining pick. I do get that, but I think generally speaking, uh, you should have 2 viable megas. Like 2 viable megas that do different
Yeah,
things on the
your
team.
megas are important.
I think it's just more about having the flexibility, especially in a draft format. I understand Mega Drowsy is probably the best Mega in Tier 4. I just think having the flexibility of having 2 different Mega modes is more important.
Yeah, I think you've severely like limited your options. You've like completely invalidated your own Tailwind mode by not having a Mega that really works with it. If you don't set up Trick Room, you're forced to bring the Screens mode, which doesn't really work with the Tailwind mode. So I don't think the Tailwind works purely because you don't have a Mega for it.
Or even just an
I will
attacker in
say,
general. I won't say, I'll caveat just not a mega for it, just a attacker that really does well with it in general. That's not Aerodactyl.
yeah, Mammoth's pretty good with it, but like that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So type chart, and there's a bit of a ground weakness. You managed to get at least one of every type except grass, which is great. Obviously, that grass type would help against the ground weakness. If you had the grass type chart, I would not have any problems with it at all. But yeah, I've already covered the issues I have with the team. It seems okay.
I'll do 4.5.
Right. What do I think? That's a 5.
That's fair enough. All right, last one in Group 6, we have Hi, how's your day? Okay, I said good. The California Charizards. Is this the first Zard Y team we've had to review?
I believe so.
Zard Y slop, everybody! Woohoo! I'm just kidding. Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard Y, Serena, Gyarados, Slowking Galar, Rotom Frost, Baratic, Leafeon, Raichu Alola, Kleavor, Meganium. What is the plan here besides setting Sun and using Mega Venusaur as not a Mega? That's my general. If they're able to set any other sort of weather against you, that's particularly sand, you're gonna struggle. Mega Venusaur is here as an option, but realistically, you're Megaing Charizard Y and using Venusaur Mega as a regular Venusaur with fast sleep power and everything. Then you also have 4 grass types with Mega Venusaur, Serena, Leafeon, and Meganium. Um, 4 grass types is not advisable, especially when your main mode is Sun. If you have another fire type on the opposing team that's able to somehow go faster than Megazard Y and Venusaur in the Sun, you're going to be in some trouble. You have Gyarados to cover that, but again, Gyarados in the Sun is a little weird, and it's kind of hard with this team not to operate with the Sun from Megazard Y. Um, I just think 4 grass types is 4 grass types and 2 ice types into a Sun team is just really, really weird. I just don't like it. I like Charizard, Mega Charizard Y and Venusaur. I love. Just the rest of the team just really is confusing. I get the fake out with Serena and the Queenly Majesty. I do get that, but I'm just and I get Tailwind with Cleavor or Scarf with Stone Axe. I'm just confused a bit.
Yeah, so I mean, I like the Zard Y Mega Venusaur combo. I think that's great. And then, of course, we have the 4 grass types. The type chart, I'm not going to go through all the weaknesses because it's a whole bunch of red. There is so much red here. It's not good. The 2 main ones for me are fire, since you drafted 4 grass types and 2 ice types with a sun team. So the fire weakness isn't great. And then also rock, I think, is pretty important to mention. You have 5 rock weaknesses, one of which is your Zard Y, which is a quad weakness, and you have 0 resists, which is really, really bad. Since those rock type attacks are just so free into your team and they destroy the most powerful Pokemon there. So I just want to check that all caught up on my mic.
Yep. Loud and
Okay,
clear.
cool. Discord was just being weird. Right. So yeah, 2 electrics, 2 psychics. It's like Slowking Galar is here to set Trick Room, but you don't really have any Trick Room users. I'm not counting Beartic. Like I feel like the Rotom Fridge or the Raichu either. I feel like Rotom Fridge, the Meganium, Serena, Beartic, Slowking. I don't like any of them, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not much more to say.
I'm gonna say it's a 4 just for Megazard Y and Venusaur. I'm not. We're not trying to be particularly rude. It definitely will need a few changes. There's definitely potential. I 100% agree there's potential, but we just think there might be needed a few changes.
I'm going 3.5. I don't like it.
All right, we're gonna go to Group 7 now, which is my group, but I'm not first pick, so we can talk about it. Here we got. I'll just do a refresh. No, all those logos are updated. I have. We have Toki, we have me, we have Al. Again, shout out for the Shining Bishara. We said Histomix. I still don't know how to pronounce that, and I'm sorry. I'm calling you the Floette team. We got Lee Toucan, we got Biss or BISS, who I played week 1. We got Forrest and Zephyr. Let's start with Tokei's team. We got the Bolton Boulders. We got Grimmsnarl, Crocodile, Volcarona, Blaziken, Blastoise, Mega Dragalge. Feel like I'm gonna say that Pokemon 10,000 times. Um, we got Simisage, Mega Metagross, Espathra, Skarmory, and Abalug. Do you want to go ahead and take the? Do you want me to take the lead on this one?
I can. So start off with the type chart. Mostly fine.
Yes, Tokay, we're finally
What
on the
you
team.
have? Oh, hey, you're on the trap. Cool. Um, not much to water types. You have no electric type. Your grass types, as I said. Weaknesses, nothing that huge. Mega Metagross, obviously very strong Mega. Then, sorry, what's setting up Trick Room?
Espathra.
Oh, I don't like that actually. Um, yeah, there's no amazing Trick Room setter for your like alternative Mega and Dragalge. You share a weakness of ground, which, yeah. What's this Bathra like trying to pass boosts to? Like, I don't really know. Yeah, I'm not a fan of a Spathra actually. Mega Metagross is obviously just good. Full Corona Croak. Blaziken could be interesting. Blast. Like, it's a. And then you obviously have Screens from Grimmsnarl. It's a very bulky team. Like, definitely set up potential with speed boost stuff, Volcanic and Quiver Dance. But also could Shell Smash. I doubt that'll happen. It'll probably happen 1 week. Mega Metagross is. I think Mega Metagross is kind of carrying the immediate offense. I guess you can run like Scarf Croak as well. Yeah, Mega Metagross does a lot of damage like very quickly. To be fair, I was gonna say something a little bit faster would be nice, but like you do have 2 speed boost bonds. I'll let the slightly
Let it
lower end
slide.
speeders go past. Yeah, like that's fine. It's a good team. There's like a couple pieces I don't get, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll to welcome to my group. First off, if you're all in the chat, congrats, Tokyo. I know you're in others group. Welcome. It's a bulky screens Metagross team, is how I'm interpreting it, with attacking options like Crocodile and Volcarona for Rage Powder, Quiver Dance stuff. I think Mega Metagross is always going to be a solid pick, and I like screens with Grimmsnarl. They kind of cover each other. Crocodile is a good Pokemon with Intimidate. And I like Volcarona, but I think the Spothra doesn't particularly fit here. It's also a second Psychic type, which I get a lot of the Trick Rooms are Psychic type, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know. It's kind of Speed Boost Pokemon, Blaziken has it. Trick Room, it's kind of just there for Trick Room. I do like how you have Fake Out with the Simisage as well. Could come to some matchups. You have Skarmory there, which is okay. I mean, I don't think you need the Skarmory, but the Skarmory is there. I think it's a decently solid team that needs a few changes. You have a few interesting modes, which, like Grow potentially talked about with Shell Smashing. You have Double Fire though. You have a lot of double types, so I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing. Of course, with Double Fire Water. Um, like you said, Espathra was kind of a last minute change because I realized I wasn't able to get the Trick Room mode I wanted. Yeah, it might have just been at that point better to sort of drop some of the Trick Room pieces and focus just on countering some Trick Room or finding like more taunt users. I think maybe, even though you have 2 main ones. I think it's a solid team though, don't get me wrong. Like I think you still did a pretty good job drafting. Uh, Scroll, you still here? I
Yeah.
think okay, there you go. Any
Sorry, are we ready to cut?
yeah, yeah,
Or
it's your
I
turn
don't
to
really have
rate,
any
yeah.
more to say, to be honest.
Yeah. You don't have a rate?
I think it's probably like Sorry, had you rated it already? I hadn't
No,
heard.
no, you're up.
Uh,
I just heard you banging the microphone,
I'll
so I was
I'll give
making
it.
sure you're a kid.
Oh, probably my microphone just being weird. I'll give it like. I don't like it to be fair. I'll give it like 7.5. Bulky Metagross team, like.
I think it's a solid 7. I'll give you a solid 7 for this one. Be -1 out of 10. Is that for the Metagross or which Pokemon is that for? I need to know what the bias is. I gotta get the context behind this before we move on real quick. Why are we doing -1 out of 10? What's the bias Pokemon bringing it down? Is it the Simisage? Hey, we're not on my draft yet. Oh, come on. All right, now we'll go to my draft. I'll just say what the Pokemon are, but I'm not gonna do any comments. And if you want more my extensive thoughts, there is my draft video that I have made for my draft breakdown on this team. If you want to check it out after this, if you have not already. So we have, of course, me and my Jirachi Swim School Wishmakers. We got our Mega Gengar team with Charchomp, Corviknight, Primarina, Base Form Raichu, Vivian, Musharna, Audino, Mega Phalanx, Absol, not Apple, and Obama So let's squirrely take this one away. Like I said, if you want my thoughts on it, just check out the video.
Yep. It's another Mega Gengar team piloted by staff. There's quite a few of these.
We totally
Um,
didn't have a accidental staff draft all of it moment again.
yeah. I mean, I think Mega Gengars are really good. I was looking at it and then I was like, wait, this thing's like difficult to draft a good team with, and then I went for the easy option of Float.
Hey, I
Yeah, I
wanted
think
to
it's
try
Mega Gengars.
Frostlass. I'm well on the record. I wanted to do Mega Frostlass, but I could not justify it on pick 2.
That's fair. Yeah, I think Mega Gengar is like really strong. Um, Garchomp, Vivian, of course, good speed control. Prim's just a really great mon in tier 2. It seems pretty solid. Type chart, there's a few weaknesses actually. Okay, nothing major. Like some of the things popping up were like fire, but you have Prim and Garchomp for that. Small ice weakness, just because you don't have much in terms of resistances, and you have a quad weakness for of ice, as well as your redirect being weak to ice. Nothing huge though. It looks mostly fine. You cover most of your types pretty well. No rock type, who cares? No fire type. That's a slightly more important one. Honestly, looks pretty good to me. I don't fully understand the need for Lightning Rod. It's just like fast fake out.
There was no need for
Um,
Lightning Rod. It was fast fake out.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If you want me to
So
be totally honest, I didn't
I
draft it.
correctly interpreted it then.
I did
Yeah.
not draft it for Lightning Rod.
Um,
I drafted for one of the fast fake out users and to have flexibility.
yeah, that's fair. You did need an electric type as well. So we're thinking what, -1 out of 10, I think it was.
Nah, it's fine. Yeah,
Nah. It's like solid. I Mega Phalanx. I don't hate Mega Phalanx. I think a lot of people dislike it, but
I
I
will
mean,
get
you
a
have decent
kill
tools
with
to
it
support
this season. I promise.
it. I mean, when Mega Gengar's not good, you have Fake Out, you have Redirection. Get a no retreat off. I think after a no retreat, this thing could be pretty scary. But then again, that's what I said last season, and it did fuck all. We also did just overprice it, to be fair.
We did also put it, I think, tier 1.
Yes, because we were scared of it because we had no fucking clue how good it was going to be. So we just went on the safe side.
Yeah, that was our common theme last season.
And,
If you want to give it an honest rating, go ahead.
yeah. It just seems like a pretty standard, solid Mega Gengar team to me. I think like 7.
I'll take it. I think it's a good team. I think I've drafted better, but I think it's a solid team.
Yeah.
But I've definitely
It's just
drafted
like it's like
worse.
solid. There's like nothing that like stand out to me as like amazing.
I'd agree. Uh,
It's just like a good Gengar team.
Al, you're up next. I know you're in chat. Sorry you couldn't draft Zero right now. We're not going to give you minus points for trying to draft Pokemon that isn't in the actual game. Um,
What? Okay, I have to know. What did you try draft?
no, he didn't try to draft anything. He's like, because I was talking about earlier about if you have if it's in the game, try to draft your Pokemon you have, like as a joke. You can't draft Zeraora. I would have been like, no. Uh,
Tragic.
it is tragic. We got Mega Blaziken, Serena, Meowscarada, Mega Alakazam, the first one of those we've seen, Araquanid, Ditto, Toucanon, Goldengo, Meowstic Male, Luxury, and Clawitzer. Um, say I am a huge Goldengo fan, as I think many of people are aware. I do like Goldengo and Mega Blaziken's pretty good. Um, Serena Meowscarada, I get Meowscarada as a fake grass type. Still a little awkward having both of those being near tier 2. Though I like Serena's there to block fake out and like priority moves. Not sure how much that's needed with this team. I get it though. Mega Alakazam's a good secondary mega for special hits as well. Especially if you can do the Psychic Terrain one with Meowstic Male, which is what I'm assuming it is for sure. Rocket's kind of there just as like a water type and I guess kind of like a Trick Room option, though you don't really have a Trick Room team. Um, Got Ditto there. I'm never gonna take points off for Ditto. I'm never gonna take points for Ditto. I think Ditto's a Pokemon that you have to respect when you're drafting and prepping around, but it's something you kind of just. It's good if somebody doesn't do anything around to help steal games. Meowstic Mail is pretty good support here, and you're not pairing it with a Alolan Tail, so I'll give you a little bit of a boost there. And you don't also have Double Prankster. Luxray is okay as a tier 5. It's an electric type. It does kind of what its job is. And I don't mind the Clawitzer, though it does do double water. But I think it's a pretty solid team. But I will say one major thing. If your only Tailwind user is Toucanon, I'm sorry. That's going to instantly take some points off.
Okay. So I don't like the Serena. I think Meowscarada's fine. I don't think you need Serena. You have Psychic Surge. In addition, if you're not setting up Psychic Surge, one of your top tier mons is Goldengo, which is immune to fake out anyway. I think this team seems like very, very fast and frail. Your two megas are Mega Alakazam and Mega Blaziken. You also have Meowscarada. Goldengo, Araquanid is kind of your two bulky mons. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the rest. Meowscarada I do like. I didn't mention that, but I feel kind of the opposite about Ditto. I feel like Ditto is just like a cop out pick. Like I think it's like really mediocre. It's just like you don't know what you're gonna take. You just take Ditto because it's like mediocre just on any team. Like it's like fine. I don't feel like it's amazing. I like I don't know if you're gonna try bulk up some of these like frail ones with screens. It feels very frail to me. And in terms like what Meowstic and Alakazam are your only uses at Trick Room and Meowscarada,
Araquanid's the
right?
most bulky Pokemon.
Yeah. Like I like Araquanid, but like there's no real Trick Room setters. Despite having 3 of them, none of them are real Trick Room setters. Like I'm not a huge fan of Clarissa here. Toucanon's probably not going to do a lot. There's like a lot of picks that feel like they're kind of just nothing. Ditto especially. Then what type chart? Flying weakness? Oh yeah, because you're double grass, you got a bug on everything. You're missing ground type, fairy, dragon.
I'm giving it
I don't know how to rate this one.
Giving it a solid 5 because you are missing, I think, some crucial things, but I get the idea for formulating a team.
Yeah, I think Mega Alakazam Meowstic's actually a pretty, like, I think it's very strong for its price, to be fair.
And you've done something
I
haven't seen anyone else do, so.
I'll give it. I'll give it 5 as well. Actually, it's fine.
All right, next we have the hot ones. Parisa, hot ones. I could have gone
I'm
for
just
some.
gonna mute briefly, just to let you know.
I'll keep going. I could go for some wings too. We got a Charizard Y team. Yay! Sorry, I'm not a huge Charizard Y fan. We got Charizard, Mega Charizard Y. We got Gambit, Venusaur. So you have the Mega Y Venusaur, but it gets an item. We got Clefable, Heliolisk for that solar power, Weavile, Gliscor, Starmie, Mega Sceptile, Steelix, and Houndoom. I do love Mega. I think Megazord Y and the Venusaur with the item is also, of course, very, very good. I think Kingambit's interesting because you do draft Sun, although I like Kingambit as a Pokemon. It's kind of a little awkward with this team, but you cannot bring Sun with Sceptile as well. But it does give you double Dark as well with the Weavile. So it is a little bit interesting, but it does give you, of course, that strong priority with Sucker Punch to deal with things that might have been faster than Megazard Y, like a Rock type like Aerodactyl, etc. Clefable's pretty good. I do. Clefable is pretty good. I do like the redirection from Clefable here, and I like the ability to have a fairy type as well. Although what you're redirecting, I guess you're trying to redirect it away from Gambit, so that could be fine. Heal with solar power, I think, is something that hasn't really been explored, and I'm actually excited to see how well you use it. I think it's good as well. Gliscor is there for the Tailwind use. I think it's okay as a Tailwind setter. I'm not a huge fan of Gliscor in general, especially because its kind of toxic boosting abilities is, I think, better suited for singles rather than doubles, though it does have dual wing beat and some tech to it. Starmie's okay, I guess, as a water type. I'm not a huge fan of Starmie um, in general, so it wouldn't be something that I would choose. And Mega Sceptile, I'm just not a huge Mega Sceptile fan personally, especially you already have a Grass, and it's another special attacking Mega. I think you could have used with a physical attacking Mega there in the slot with Tier 3 if there was something uh, that you liked or a different dragon. Steelix is an okay Pokemon. I just don't think it'll be coming often, maybe for rare. And then Houndoom, I guess, there for more solar power shenanigans. I don't mind that, but that would give you 3 dark types. You do have a good 2 fighting resist, but you just gotta be aware of that, especially because you're probably not bringing all to the same game. It leans very heavily into Sun, and my big worry is if they are able to turn off the Sun, you will have an issue. So, just a big warning, you will have a little bit of an issue that way. But I think for a Sun team, it's pretty solid, and I just would have liked to see a different secondary Mega, personally.
Okay. Um, I don't like the triple darks. You have King Gambit. That's kind
Yep.
of all you need. I don't hate Houndoom here just because it's like, yeah, it's a Sun abuser. That's its primary focus, not a dark type. But Weavile is just another dark type. That's another quad fighting weakness, which you really don't need. Um, the I really do like the Heliolisk pick actually because it works both as a solar power mon and as like a scarf discharge user for Sceptile. Some good roll compression there. I do like that. Overall, I think it's pretty strong to be fair. I do mostly like it. Just the dark types is my main thing. I don't dislike this Mega Sceptile. I think that's fine. Clefable's great here for the trying to deal with the fighting type weakness. Um, but I do actually quite like this team. I don't think Starmie's a bad Pokemon. I think it has a lot of utility for what a tier 5. At a very good speed tier of 115. Um, I'm not a fan of Gliscor though, I'll agree with you on that one. Just
I
in general, not specifically on this team.
I think 6.5 would be my rating.
I'll give it a 7. I like it.
I think that's a solid pick. We have Histomix here with Sylvanic Harmonix. Love the name, by the way. We got Basque Legion Male with Aerodactyl and Kangaskhan. We've seen that before. Mega Meowstic here, Mega Steelix, Infernape, Sharpedo, a third Mega here in Mega Scavillain, Sylveon with Sylveon, Manectric, and Altaria. Interesting team. Hello, Captain Yoshi. Welcome in. We are in Group 7. Hello, Sal. Welcome in as well. Um, But yeah, what do you think of this team?
Okay. So Megas Meowstic is not really a Mega. That's just here to be the Prankstomon. Then what we've got Scoville and Steelix. Obviously there's no sand for the Steelix, which would have been nice. Scoville, I'll be interested to see how Scoville does. It's like a pretty good value in tier 2. I don't think it's the best, hence why it is in tier 2. Specifically in Draft League. There's just like less high value Pokemon to get the burn onto. Um, your team is pretty weak to rock outside of Mega Steelix. You have no other resistances. Keep an eye out for that. Other than that, Type Chart looks good. It's like it feels pretty solid, but the high tiers feel underwhelming. It's partially because there's, Basculegion is the tier 1, and then, well, Basculegion and Sylveon are the tier 1s. This just feels kind of underwhelming, and Basculegion's very strong, of course. I think there's better value fairy types. Sylveon is very good, to be fair. It's just like fine. I don't like. There's no major problems. It's just okay. There's nothing like amazing about it.
I think it's like a 5.56. It's like solid, but nothing outstanding.
Yeah.
Next, we're gonna
Do you
go
have anything
to
else to add?
not really, to be honest. It's kind of just
Yeah,
like you
I
said.
agree with 5.5. I'm rating it the same.
Yeah, 5.6. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce the same. Please, I beg.
Um,
I'm gonna ask you in the
no,
chat
I'm
later.
I'm not gonna tell you how to pronounce that actually.
I'm gonna go for AZ Flow State here. We got Mega Floette Sneasler, Klefki Skarmory Mega, Typhlosion Hisui. We got Mammothine, Ariados, Malamar, Appleton, Fralger, Jolteon. Sneasler Mega Floette is scary. Very scary.
That is true. That'll be interesting. Um, we do have Klefki for screens for the Floette, so it's definitely gonna be quite difficult to take out, assuming it's trained correctly. Small ground and ghost weakness, whatever. Um, you got you got some like really good fast mons as well as some slower stuff, which is good. Even if that slower stuff is mediocre. So alternative Mega and Skarmory, that's kind of your Tailwind mode. Otherwise, you're just relying on Klefki, like T-Waves for speed control. And that's Skarmory plus Mammothine will be a good combo. You set up Tailwind, click Earthquake. Nothing exactly complex. But yeah, it's Mega Floette. There's a Sneasler. These are all good Pokemon. I like it. Nothing crazy to say.
Yeah, I think it's just overall very solid with Prankster Klefki. Sneasler Clutch is very scary to go against. Has a lot of solid Pokemon in it. I would say Typhoon and Hisui with that is going to be Scarf a lot of the time, unless you're bringing Tailwind with Skarmory a lot of the time. But I think it's like it hits
Yep.
really, really hard because you still have Mammothine plus Sneasler as well. But I agree with like Knight. I agree with what you said here. I think it's a very, very solid team. I would give
Yeah, so I
it.
think
I'd give it a 7.
I'll give it, yeah, I should get 7.5. It's a good Floette team. Like,
All right.
yeah.
Next, we got Letukan and the Cleveland Crabs with ooh, it's kind of fun. It's another LeBron reference. Maybe he's heading to the Cleveland Crabs. Who knows? Uh, we got Mega Kangaskhan, Aerodactyl Hisuian, Ninetales Alola, Gallade, the Lawnmower, Diggersby, Arbok, Milotic, Noivern, Mega Manette, first Mega Manette we've seen, and Orthworm.
Okay. So what the two megas here, Kangaskhan and the Burnett. Burnett's interesting. I think it's a bit gimmicky. I think it's pretty bad, to be honest. I'm not a fan.
We are
Like
not
Prankster
Wolf.
with that stat line. Yeah. I actually haven't seen Wolf use this thing.
Just
I should
watch
keep
just watch
more of
one
an
of
eye
the
on his
W
videos.
watch one of the WDL videos he brings it was not that good. Spoiler
It's
alert.
on his draft team, is it?
Spoiler alert was not that good. Um
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of them then, given Wolf drafted
Mega
it.
Kangaskhan I do like with Arcanine Hisui as well. Um this team doesn't hit specially well. Is a big fear of mine. Your best bet are Ninetale Lola and I guess Milotic. Noivern doesn't hit that hard actually, with only 97 special attack. So I am a little bit concerned of you hitting it in the specialty side. And Mega Banette as a secondary Mega is kind of fake. To be honest, if you're Mega Net, you're losing out a lot of damage on Kangaskhan. That's one of my biggest fears. You also have two normal types. You have a ghost type again, ghost type 4, but if you're not bringing Mega Banette, it might be a little bit hard. I think you have good upfront damage with Mega Kings and Arcanine. I just think this team's going to struggle a little bit with physically defensive Pokemon and then faster special attackers than it. Because your only Tailwind user is Noivern as well.
Yeah, I agree with most of what's been said. I think strong physical walls will be an issue to break through here, just because your special attackers aren't that strong. That being said, it's a very bulky team, which I do quite like. Noivern for speed control is good. You have Ninetales, you set up the Veil. Then trying to kill Mega Kangaskhan through Veil is not easy. 105, 100, 100 defenses across the board with only a single weakness. Obviously, that's very difficult to take down with a Veil up. Hisuian Arcanine, Rotom Mow, Milotic, Firewater Grass Core, kind of pretty standard to see that sort of thing in these bulky teams.
Mm-hmm.
Gallade, Greatmon, Diggersby is pretty good. Orthworm's interesting as well. I wonder what the Shedtail's going to go into.
Yeah.
I don't see anything amazing for
Yeah.
Shedtail, but
I'll add
it'll
what
be interesting to see.
SJ also said. This team has like no setup. It's kind of just SD Gallade
Um,
and Coil Milotic.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it really needs setup. Calm Milotic's like fine. Yeah, I think you will just struggle into the Mons with like a lot of physical defense. I will say Type Shot is flawless, which is what you want to see on this type of team. So that's very good. I like it, but there's like a slight weakness. You just need some immediate offense on the special side.
I think it's
That's
like
like
a
the only real
5.
criticism I have, to be honest. Other than Burnett being a weird Pokemon,
I think
I
it's
think
like a
overall it's a
5
very
for
good
me.
team.
I think it's like a 5 for me
I think it's like a
personally.
7.
Oh, okay. First major difference. We'll
I
see.
think there was one earlier, kind of a similar amount. I don't remember what team it was, but
Yeah. All right, we have the team I played week 1, Biss and the Golden State Wicocos. We have Incin, Mega Lucario. We got Rotom Wash, Staraptor, Mega Drampa, Slowbro Galar, Pidgeot, Sinistra, Oranguru, Vanilluxe, and Torterra. What do you think of this one? I got my own theories, but I will try to refrain a little bit since I just play against this team.
yeah, okay. 1 second. Right. Oh, the fuck is okay. We're here. Start with the type chart because I can do that quickly. Weakness to ice. Yeah, there's like a few ice. Your resist are pretty high tier. You're probably fine with that. Slight rock weakness as well. Whatever. So Megas are Lucario and Tramper. Lucario is very strong. I think it's a really good tier 2.
Yeah, Mega Lucario is
So
scary.
yeah, like adaptability, base 145 attack, close combat, that kills just about everything. Um, and then you have like just a lot of good pieces. Instant, Cine, Rotom Wash. Alex is pretty good to be fair. It's like a trigger mode here as well. Um, Cine and Sin to help set it up.
Mhm.
Rangaroo. Um, Overall, like decent setters. Um, I don't think it's super reliable, but it looks pretty good.
Mhm.
Um,
Double Intimidate
Both
with
Pidgeot and
Lucario too.
Staraptor is kind of funny because you have two normal flying types, four normal types in total. So I don't know about that one. Maybe cut the Pidgeot, just cut back on the normal types a bit. You don't like it's not doing anything that Staraptor isn't in my eyes. What you're one speed point faster, like big difference.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of you said. I think the Pidgeot could be cut. Double Intimidate for Mega Lucario is scary as well, since a lot of the typings it's weak to is also more physical based attack minus ground, which can be
That's
special.
true.
But you also have the Rotom Watch, which can switch in for the Incin, or the Sinistcha that could also switch in, or the Staraptor that could switch into ground. So you're pretty well instated there. I think it's a pretty solid team. I just think it needs like the way you maneuver and switch things is going to be huge when you're playing this, and your prep being making sure to cover for a lot of things will be huge. I think get those right, you're going to have a successful season and maybe find something else for the Pidgeot that might bring some use. But overall, I think it's a solid 7 team.
Yeah. I believe it was SJ said in the chat, I believe. Yeah. Fighting weakness. I don't think it's that big of a deal because fighting is generally always physical. You have double intimidate. One of your fighting weak mons is the intimidate mon. There's
I'm
also,
not
did
I'm
you
not
mention
going
the
to
quad
spoil anything
weakness?
for the video, but I will say fighting weakness
Uh,
is something definitely to be considered.
I don't see it being that big of an issue as long as you use Sinister correctly. Just switched about into some close combat so you can rage powder them away.
But if the
Um,
fighting type has dark coverage, then you're kind of in a rough time.
okay, that makes it a little more difficult, but we can't cover every dual type combination, to be fair. Um, yeah, I really don't like a Pidgeot. It's not like I get it's a low tier. You're just like I can't be too harsh on low tiers, but also it is doing literally nothing that Staraptor isn't already, from what I can see. Um,
I still think it's a solid 7.
yeah,
7 for Group 7.
I yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there on 7.
All right, now we got Forest here with the Snowpoint Capybaras. Capybara. We got first Mega Dragonite team. We got Aegislash Arcanine, Liepard, Mega Manectric, Roserade. Again, I'm gonna mention Slurpuff. I don't draft this thing, guys. It has no point anymore. Um,
It's just
Paul,
a 10 Pokemon team. Come on
yeah,
now.
a small rain mode with Politoed, Basculin, female, and then Tauros and Sceptile. I do like the rain mode, especially because it pairs with Mega Dragonite well for Hurricanes. I do like the rain mode, and Basilisk is an interesting choice, especially because Dragonite's mostly a special attacker, but I know male is very expensive, and it still can do last respects things. It still has an okay, decent physical, so I would not count that out. Um, as well, Aegislash not bad in rain as well. Um, Again, it's a 10 Pokemon team because Slurpuff doesn't exist. I don't mind Tauros as a tier 4 or 5, strong Intimidate. Arcanine's pretty good, just got to watch out in a rain mode that you don't get blasted with your own water type moves. I don't mind Mega Magnetric as a secondary because it does have strong physical stuff as well. It is very fast as well, so it's not could be a better Mega, but I don't mind it as well. Just keep in mind, ground can be a slight issue for this team. Uh, Roserade doesn't actually resist ground. Sceptile is the only resist for it, and Mega Dragonite obviously Infinity. The only problem I do see with this team is it kind of relies on getting Rain absolutely up. You do have that access because of Liepard has Rain Dance as well, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but if you don't have rain up and you're struggling a little bit, that could be a main reason why. Because I'm expecting somebody to bring sunny day or sand into this team every single time if they possibly can.
Um, okay, so I'm actually not a huge fan of the Mega Manectric purely because it doesn't cover any of the weaknesses Dragonite has, which I think is the main thing. You're drafting like a high tier Mega and a secondary Mega. Your secondary Mega should be covering the matchups your primary Mega is bad in. Manectric doesn't really do that. In addition, Dragonite Mega can just click Thunder. It doesn't. You don't need Manectric for the electric type offense. Really, you can just tech that onto Dragonite. Um, honestly, I don't think Rain going down is the biggest deal. Like, especially if you're not even running like Swift Swim every week. Like, I think you can survive that. Um, you mentioned what ground type weakness, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems pretty minor to me, pretty much. Like, no team is an amazing matchup into ground. And I do want to mention this is a rain team, so you have a good offensive matchup into
Yeah,
ground
of
types.
course.
Um, I think it's like okay. I don't think Mega Man Electric's actually that good here. Um, there's a lot of good pieces. Slurpuff's here too. Um,
I think it's a 6. 6.5
okay,
maybe.
6.5.
Okay. We're gonna get to the last. We're gonna go to Mousehold themselves, aka always drafting Mouseholds if you're here. Um, got the
Yep.
Minotaur Meteors. We got Mousehold for Farigiraf. No, we do not have Annihilate with it. Talonflame. We have Squirrely on the team. Scrafty, Mega Scolipede, Dedenne, Houndstone, Victory Bell, Mega Gardevoir, and Avalugg Hisuian. I will say this is one of the more creative and interesting teams we have had so far. So full credit there. It's interesting. It's again mostly hard trick room. You have Tailwind with Talonflame, but this team again mostly hard trick room. Mousehold I do like. I love the Dreeder. Mousehold's speed tier is insane with 110 here, outspeeding a lot of the top tier megas. And Population Bomb now having wide lens kind of blows things up. Um, Also, its redirection with Friend Guard Follow Me is pretty good, and access to Super Fang, Bite, and all that good jazz. I do like Mousehold. Mousehold Farigiraf's a little awkward together as it's two normal types, but I get why. Talonflame's a little awkward here, especially if you already have Mega Camera up. I get you want the Tailwind, and Tailwind Mega Gardevoir is something you can do, but this is pretty hard Trick Room. You should be able to get Trick Room up with Farigiraf, but the problem is, besides Farigiraf, what are you Trick Rooming with? Mega Gardevoir, I guess. It definitely has some room to move and some ways to like blow you up quickly under Trick Room, but I do think it can struggle.
Yeah. This team, I don't think it's not like hard trick room. You do have the Tailwind mode or just faster mode in general. Talonflame, obviously. Mega Gardevoir, fast Hyper Voice. I think offensive mouse as you mentioned, Population Bob's really, really strong in the current format. So you can just bring offensive mouse to whatever matchups you want and just blow shit up. And Farigiraf is one of the harder trick room setters to stop, to be fair. I think it's like fine. I think you need trick room, so it's whatever. Mega Scolopede's interesting. I'll be interested to see how you use it in terms of like you trying to get speed boost before you mega, or are you just trying to use it as a hard trick room mega? Because I feel like if you're just trying to use it as a hard trick room mega, you already have camera upped. So I don't know where it really fits in there. I'll be interested to see like whether you're trying to use it on like the fast or slow mode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think like Pokemon like Houndstone, Scrafty, like they can all kind of work like on your faster mode outside of Trick Room. I wouldn't just fully restrict them to Trick Room. Type chart is pretty good. Never mind. I
Yeah,
must have forgotten to check it. Um, yeah, water weakness. Your only resist is Victory Bell, Camrock being a quad weakness. Rock weakness, Talonflame, quad weakness, you're only resistant to Crafty. It's not amazing. You know, your only ground resist slash immunity is being hit 4x by rock. If you have a ground type, they probably can tech on a rock move for that. A few other weaknesses, I'm not going to go through everything. It's like alright. I'd say I'd give it. I'll give it a 6.
I think 6, or I think do a 5.5. I think 5.6, a 5.5 to 6 is solid. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid team. Um, I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news to everyone here. That is gonna be it for today. We're gonna run out of time to do Group 8 here, unfortunately, with taking a way too long on the first group. So we're gonna have to end it here for today. I will either make a video about Group 8 or do a quick live stream tomorrow or Friday about it. That way, make sure it gets done. It will be done before next week, I promise. But we are ran out of time. We've almost done 3 hours here. Um, so I'm sorry about Group A. I will get to you. I promised, and I will promise to get that for you. But we're out of time for the day. So unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed at least 3 of the groups and us ranting a little bit about some other things. Um, so I will, of course, do more on the other groups later. I'm so sorry.
We'll probably get to you some point.
We will, I promise. Um, I promise. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are, and we will see you next time.